And I welcome us once again to the early hours of this transmission. Please share the program and invite your friends and family, and let us discuss Yoruba self-determination. Kini wọ́n pè ní self-determination. This is all what we're going to be discussing this morning as we continue to review reasons why the Yoruba people must exit from the contraction known as Nigeria that was put together by the British in 1914. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and as it's coming up to 1:25 a.m. in London, mo kí gbogbo wa pé ṣe dáadáa ni a wà. Bí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ tún lọ pé ẹlòmíì náà wà kí ó wá mọ ìdí tí Nàìjíríà ò lè ṣiṣẹ́, and why British decided to put us together in a union that has failed every innocent Yoruba people, every innocent indigenous people. 250 ethnic groups, kò sí àdúrà tẹ́ lè gbà, kò sí ọ̀nà tẹ́ lè ṣe tí Nàìjíríà fi lè ṣiṣẹ́. Yoruba politicians, we are tired of one Nigeria. It is time we discuss our way out of Nigeria before Nigeria becomes the next Sudan, the next Somali, or the next 80. Under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akitoye, we continue to educate, enlighten, give all the reasons in the world why Nigeria is a failed state. Good morning to you as well as you're joining. If it's your first time, this is a platform that discusses the total disintegration of Nigeria. It does not matter how much you love Nigeria. Nigeria does not love you. British knew that we were never going to be one, but they've asked us to try to manage our life inside a failed society that refused to work for 63 years. Mo mọ̀ pọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ò ní gbọ́ nítorí pé elétí kúnkún ni yín. Ó dìgbà tí wàhálà bá ṣẹlẹ̀ lè máa tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ ń pariwo ẹ̀ pé ká gba Yorùbá nation. Kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní Yorùbá nation? Kí ló fi yàtọ̀ sí political 419 tó ń ṣe láti 1999 tí àwọn Yorùbá politicians took advantage, and because of that they've taken us almost 60 years backwards. Olórí burúkú Buhari tí kò ní kú síbi táṣọ ẹ̀ wà tó di president tí Tinubu lọ gbé wá, òun tó wá dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan nísìn ó náà máa continue láti ibi tí Buhari ti ṣetán. Gbogbo yín náà lẹ́kúnkún rí bó ṣe ń lọ. Bóhùn ẹ̀ kò sọ pé Tinubu ló máa wá fix Nàìjíríà. Kódà mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún yín lórí Adéyínká grandson láwọn nǹkan kan tí mo kà lórí Facebook page ẹ̀. Màá ṣàlàyé fún yín. Àwọn náà ti ń faraya pé tí Tinubu ò bá ṣe táwọn fẹ́, àwọn máa dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí máa lẹ́yìn o, ó máa lẹ́yìn o. Mo kí Izzy, mo kí Bàbá Akitoye, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá lálùbáríkà tí ẹ ti ń wọlé. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyàwó mi tí ó gbà wá láyè tí a fi ń ráyè ṣe tá à ń ṣe, torí pé tí a bá máa dúpẹ́ fún irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ kí la fẹ́ ṣe sí. Mo kí gbogbo yín o pé ilẹ̀ Oòduà kò ní bàjẹ́, àmọ́ ọ̀nà tí kò fi ní bàjẹ́ ni pé kí gbogbo wa ń kọ́ ká dìde ká lè ṣe tẹ́ ká ṣe. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Màá kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀. Tí ẹ ṣe ń wọlé, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí, torí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ṣe ló máa ń sọ pé àwa la fẹ́ da ìlú rú. Àwa kì í ṣe terrorist o, a kì í ṣe secessionist, a dẹ̀ fi secede. A fẹ́ padà síbi tí orísun wa wà kó tó di pa àwọn lórí burúkú British colony tí wọ́n da gbogbo ẹ̀rú. Mo kí ìyá mi Iye Ọládédoyin. Okay, let's go with this. Lẹ ìdí wá kàgbéga fàlẹ́ ìgbàgbọ́ bàtì bẹ̀rù ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́, ìṣọ̀kan ní kẹjẹ́, tẹ̀síwájú, ọ̀pọ̀ ire, àtòhun, ọmọ Odùduwà, kọ sí ipò, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ bá wa pé ẹni tí ó ti sùn kó tají lójú oorun. The Yoruba people have spoken látọdún mẹ́ta. Kódà àwọn kan ní Àtíkù là ń bá ṣiṣẹ́, àfẹ́jẹ́ kí Tinubu débẹ̀. Àwọn kan ní Iyọlá Adédoyin is a man. Okay, interesting. Ẹ ò dákẹ́ máa sọ fún àjòrí pé ká má máa mix obìnrin àtọkùnrin together. Tokyo_778 mo kí ẹ. Olúfẹ́mi legend, my brother, shout out to you. Mr. Taiwo 28, shout out to you. Ìyá mi Tóyìn Ọláoyè, àwọn ìyá dáadáa. Ṣẹ́yìn náà ti wà lọ́lídé ni, àbí iṣẹ́ wà láàárọ̀, àbí ẹ ṣe night duty lọ́wọ́. Ẹ bá ń kí Kentos, ẹ bá ń kí gbogbo president àti vice president. Ìfẹ́lódùn ẹgbẹ́ tí olóyè fúnra rẹ̀ dá sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. Àwọn dẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń ṣètò bí olóyè ṣe máa wọ London pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ẹgbẹ́ tó kù. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa bí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀. Mo kí Mr. Bámidélé Aliu, Ayọ̀mí Kúndáméjù, èèyàn ti Koikimedia, mo kí African Confidential, mo kí Ìjáyà, mo kí olóyè Ìgbòho, mo kí ẹ dáadáa pé o kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Ibi tó bá ń lọ là ń tẹ̀lé ẹ lọ. Mo kí Mr. Razak Ìṣọ̀lá, wọ́n ní nice to meet you sir. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, social media gbogbo ẹ̀ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti meet ara wa. As I speak to us right now, there is a solar eclipse. Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? Many people might not know what is a solar eclipse. I will be explaining what that means. That's a lot of energy that is changing, and it's changing very, very fast. Ṣorí n tó mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀, tó sọ fún ẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ nípa ilé ayé, ó ti yàtọ̀ nísìnyí. Don't think that wọ́n kàn ń pariwo lórí social media ní ẹ̀sìn kankan. Mo kí Pastor Emmanuel Tọ́gbà, mo kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa nínú Olúwa, mo kí Professor Adébánjí lẹ́ǹkan sí Akíntóyè, bàbá dáadáa. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí as I'm starting the Twitter so that we can bring more people to join us and listen to this fantastic late night conversation where we, discuss everything you need to know when it comes to reasons. Ìdí pàtàkì. A lot of people don't know the reason why we want Yoruba nation. Wọ́n kọ̀ rò pa akọ̀ kígbe lórí social media ni, Yoruba nation, what is Yoruba nation? Why do you want Yoruba nation? I was listening carefully to the government in exile. And please don't tell me there's no government in exile about Biafra. Which government in exile? You're stupid, idiot. All these small countries that have become independent today, some of them were all also running a government in exile. So shout out to the prime minister. Yes. Do you think it's not worth to be a prime minister? You're an idiot. I would need Awon guide, Awon shape president and prime minister Iluleni. The man that is the president of Senegal, 44 years old. So shout out to the president, or the prime minister rather, government in exile of the Biafra under the leadership of Mazi Simon Ekpa. I was listening carefully to your presentation and visitation to Belgium, where not just money was donated towards the ESN, the Biafra Liberation Army, but also a lot of questions it was able to clear the air on. As you're joining the program, it is your responsibility to love and share. Many of you also listen to church programs and you are told to share the program. I do listen to it. Share the link. Share the link. So please share the link. Invite your friends and family. One more platform to go, and then we'll be ready to hit the road. As again, This platform is not for violence. This platform is totally dedicated for self-determination. If I talk about, guns, protecting ourselves is the right thing to do because the current administration and the previous one have failed to protect Yoruba people. If we are going to declare Yoruba nation, I need 60,000 brand new AK-47. And I will give the go-ahead for Babakitoye to declare Yoruba nation. Anything less than that, that means we are not yet ready. You do not make a declaration when you cannot protect and defend the territory. Brand new AK-47, train as many 60,000 Yoruba people under 30 days. We can declare Yoruba nation or we can negotiate. How do we negotiate? Negotiation will go through with the current administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's entirely up to him to listen or not. We can come out in full protest and we can use that to demand our rights. No government outside will come and tell you all this. No president, prime minister will tell you this. Your politicians are all criminals and they are not ready for such. But we are saying to them, there is still room for dialogue. From the day we will not dialogue, which I don't know when that will be, it will be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for them to call us back. Small kekere le rinigba ensas. And don't mind when I look like this. I have cameras there, cameras there, cameras there. So my eyes goes on all. What I know, shout out to my beautiful auntie Faith Davids. I've not seen my mom yet on the program. Agbaje Wasiu. If you write nonsense, I will curse your father. I will curse your mother. If you say to me, stop talking in anger, stop cursing us, it's better to curse your politician than to allow terrorists to continue to operate. Many of you watch the video, but you hardly donate. Thank you too much. Thank you, Grandma Tewa, in Canada. Thanks for me. Koiki, voice me. I feel my friend anyone $1. Don't support faith. Imagine old women wants to give us $1, but young people are not ready to support. The video I produced yesterday, so far 15,000 people have watched it, but only few of you ready to support. But that's not going to stop me from coming out. It doesn't matter whether you give us support or not. But if you give it to us, it's an advantage because it allows me. Thank you so much, Henry Actor Official. It allows us to do more. Without money, you cannot do anything. Okay? Without money, you can. If I don't have money, I cannot do as much as I would love to do with my media to wake up the mind and the spirit of millions of Nigerians. If I have enough money, I will try my best to make sure that many Nigerians will understand in our language, in their language, why we need to get out of Nigeria. We expect many of you to support the YSDM. The YSDM is the Yoruba self-determination movement that controls how and manage why Yoruba people will leave Nigeria. You can check them out on their website. And I've just spotted my mom coming into the broadcast as well. If you're new to this platform, you have the right to challenge my topic. But be careful, because whatever you say here will not change our heart. Our heart is no longer with Nigeria. We are still in Nigeria because we still want to be. From the day Tabati make a decision, but we are not going to be in Nigeria, that will be the final straw. UK cannot stop what I'm doing. America cannot stop it. It is our fundamental right under the United Nations. If you don't have a sound, it could be from your end. Maybe you want to come out of the broadcast and come back in, because I believe there is sound in all the broadcasts. But let's double check, because some of you at home, your internet is so poor because of lack of infrastructure. Mr. Perry, good morning to you, and shout out to my mom again. So let's see if I can get myself listening to myself. Okay, so it's definitely from you. So please be careful. I can listen to myself. That's very good. So Shout out to all the Biafrans. When you settle in, be very careful as well. Some of you, not every one of you, I read your comments. I am not the one fighting Igbos. I am not Adeyinka grandson. Neither am I all those nasty, crazy Yoruba people that are more concerned about the Igbos when they should be concerned about the Fulani threat on our land. You are also a threat to some extent, but at least you are also demanding to exit, which is why I love what you guys are doing. But don't come and tell me, where is Igbewo? Igbewo is no longer doing, I will curse your father. I'm not going to curse Nnamdi Kanu because some of you have never spoken to him. I have, not once, not twice. I would curse you personally, but I will not bring down Biafra because of you. I am not one of those Yoruba on the X that is fighting you. I care less of what has happened in the past between Awolowo, Zeke, and all that. I have not lived in that generation. I am living a new generation, and you have the right to exit the shithole country Nigeria produced to create amenities between the two of us. Every indigenous people have their hidden agenda. Tinubu hidden agenda will not give the Igbos more access to power than the Yoruba. Possible. I don't expect Tinubu to give a Igbo man chief of staff. Why? When you become the president, which you are likely not, because the Igbos will not be given room to be the president, even if Tinubu completes his tenure. It's a fact. Everybody knows that. You would also do the same thing. This is marginalization. Do I like it? No, but that is the way it is. So, and that is why we are saying we are not one and we can never be one. So it is much better that Nigerians that are fighting each other on the social media to understand that shit happened. A lot of things have happened in the past. History will never be forgotten. Yes, we have problems, but the problem is that for us to be able to live inside this union of my platform, I am not the only activist that they do such to it. It happens across any activist that is fighting a just cause. With 500,000 followers on Facebook, you hardly see my video moving fast. This is where you come in. Most of you that are watching us, share also the TikTok, slice my video. My video is okay for you to be used. I don't have any problem. I've never said no one should use my video, but make sure you credit it back to me. Take the video to TikTok. I haven't got the time to open another TikTok because TikTok has allowed terrorists to operate on their platform, but refuse to allow myself to be on the TikTok. This is the world that we are living. But when we have a government of our own, we would make sure, especially people like me in the media, that TikTok would find it very difficult to operate in Yoruba land. Just like America is giving them the same reason why they cannot operate fully anymore in America. But that's on the side. Muki, Mr. Peter Ladile. So if you're coming to the broadcast, comment. There's no point just sitting there and watching me like a ghost. Put something, write a comment. Even if we don't call your name, write a comment. So let's start another platform here, which is my Instagram. 6 seconds to my fin lawyer, man. So, Mr. Jayola. So, what am I going to be talking tonight again? Is the usual, but it takes us to different areas. And please don't say, speaking Yoruba, because you're talking about Yoruba nation. I am not one of your bloggers. This platform speaks to the international community. I'm a member of the NUJ, the National Union of Journalists in UK. And under that NUJ, we have nothing less than 60,000 journalists. And some of them are plugged in. You will not see them, but they are watching. And I've reported Nigeria to the union, but they are waiting for you and me to activate before they kick into what they will say. But since we are not doing anything more than just talking, you'll probably not see much from them. CNN is not going to talk about the self-determination until there is a civil war in Nigeria, they will talk about it. Don't expect all the media around the world to come to your cry. It does not matter how many terrorists kill you. CNN is not interested. Mukia Watoyi Dada Ajayi, Peter Pan, shout out to you. So don't expect those biased media. Not all of them. RT has been banned from UK. But if you think that Sky News and the BBC, the biased British corporation, will come to your rescue because they have BBC Yoruba, BBC Igbo, BBC Hausa, BBC Pidgin inside Nigeria, you are fooling yourselves. Very biased corporations. Let's first talk about the solar eclipse. What is it all about? And why is it important? How many people know about solar eclipse? It is happening somewhere in North America. I wish I have the kind of money I would have traveled down there and show you what it looks like live. Jayola Sokwe, there are many Yoruba children globally who do not understand our native language as well. You're quite right. Speaking Yoruba, but you think that all these children that you are giving birth to in abroad, not all of them speak Yoruba now. If they like, let them go and dance to Davido. They will not come to Nigeria. Peter Dade Sakwe, Yoruba people, wake up. Jima soon. Shout out to everyone that have joined us tonight or the early hours or afternoon. A total solar eclipse will take place today, Monday, April 8, 2024. It will be visible across North America and dubbed the Great North America Eclipse by some media. If Koikimedia has the means, we should have traveled ahead for this very fantastic, solar eclipse. Yoruba Nation. Travel kakiri. Yes, I mean, most of you don't understand that money is needed for media to operate properly. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth. So let me bring my map. So this is the earth, okay? We have the sun, we have all these. So at some point later on today, for a few seconds or thereabout, everything goes blank, dark. So a solar eclipse occurs when the moon, at least everybody knows what the moon looks like. I'm sure you all know what I mean. So when the moon passes through the earth and the sun, so as that is happening, everything automatically becomes, don't worry about the green, it becomes black, dark. So for a few seconds, so the earth somewhere will be very, very visible for you to see that everything goes black. Why does this happen? Is there a spiritual message around it? During the olden days, from what we are told, people were able to see and calculate a lot of things from the moon. So people say, it has a lot of meaning. All these were part of who we are from different parts of the globe, but unfortunately, the Europeans took advantage of so many things that belongs to us and converted it to what we are now thinking they are the one that produce it. So let's look at a little bit information about it before we go into self-determination, because everything that is happening today has a meaning. It does not matter your understanding. You cannot fix Nigeria. Beni Oshupa equals moon equals month observation. Very, very important. If I open the window now, depending on the house, you can start seeing, Oshupa ti lonyu. And I'm sure by Tuesday, Muslims will be celebrating the aftermath of the Ramadan after a full-blown moon. So it is very, very significant that many of you that are saying, which Yoruba nation are they fight for? You would understand that Oshupale Yoruba Dide. There was a video, it's just unfortunate that we started the Instagram on Koikimedia, but when I do my live presentation on the software, someone sent that to me from Ondo State, where a Mexican, some of you have seen it. I don't post anything on Facebook that is not my original content anymore. But if you're following me on Instagram and Twitter, which is X, you must have found that video I posted. Very powerful. The Yoruba anthem spoken by a Mexican, from what I was told. The young man or the man is a Mexican. They were doing some entrepreneur, whatever, in Ondo State. This is just some few days ago. Some of you have seen it. If you have seen it, just indicate, especially in Tebawa or Instagram and the X. If you have seen that video, you can put it in the comment section and say, Koiki, I've seen the video you're talking about. It was literally translating the anthem that I just sang earlier. In English, the power of that anthem, many Yoruba people don't know it. You can only activate the power of the Yoruba anthem properly, fully, inside a Yoruba nation country. Whether we call it Yoruba nation or the Oduduwa Republic, it does not matter. As long as we pull out of Nigeria officially, that becomes the powerful anthem that has a meaning, that has something spiritually connected. Okay, tell me the Nigerian anthem, how that is spiritually connected to us. It is not spiritually connected to us, but we didn't know all this. I could assume that Nigeria that was formed just after the World War II has its own reasons for the formation. But the formation of Yoruba nation now, to my Jadi Nino Nigeria, that anthem will be sung every day. That is the power. Because just like many of you understand what I'm talking about, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhism, or our own tradition known as Ifa. And thank you so much to my mom. As I was waking up, she has already sent another, contribution to the GoFundMe. Solar eclipse, part of darkness, scroll every mile of totality. And I'm reading on the BBC World. Millions of people across Mexico, the United States, and Canada, we see a total solar eclipse across the North America continent on Monday. The rare phenomenon will curve in a narrow path of darkness eastwards from the ocean to the ocean across 3 countries. If you are not lucky enough to live along that path, you can still follow the route it would take by scrolling down from here. We will first orientate you by showing you an inverted map of North America. So the eclipse point of entry is at the top. So as it's coming, according to the map I have here, so it will be coming from the top. So by the time it gets to somewhere in America, Canada, Mexico, that region will be able to see it more because everything goes black, dark, at least for some time. So the total eclipse is coming in between. So Mexico is around here. US, Canada is somewhere around there, according to the map I have here. After arriving at Mexico, the eclipse will take a little under 1 hour and 40 minutes. After Tobati de Mexico, it will then take another 1 hour 40 minutes to reach the eastern tip of Canada. So those of you in Canada, I'm sure you're looking forward to the solar eclipse. The wide of the path within which people will experience a total eclipse of the sun will be 115 miles, 183 kilometers on average. The power of the sun is very, very important. And that is what makes us different from the rest of the people around the world, because Elédùmarè fún wa ní ọ̀run, oníṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe lára wa. In this country, we have to do supplements. I don't think some of you understand that. We have to take supplement, which is called vitamin D, because we are lacking vitamin D, and the bones needs vitamin D to be able to be strong. So yes, in Africa, the reason why you're suffering is because you don't have a full system of government where the sun that is appearing in Dubai, but the citizen of Dubai, I am not talking about the foreigners that have gone there to work. Even the foreigners are still enjoying a bit of fresh air. Dubai is a complete different weather. But for every time you go into the buildings, it becomes a very cold environment. But it is only when you are outside, you feel the heat. And that is why the Dubai citizens do not leave their houses until late in the evening when the weather has calmed down. We have a very moderate weather. And not listen to all this climate nonsense. It has nothing to do with us yet. We have not developed enough for them to control the climate. So if anybody of these scientists telling you climate change in Africa, tell them to toss off. We have enough problem to deal with first before they start talking about climate rubbish. We need to first fix who we are from taking back our stolen identity from what the British created in 1914. The eclipse will pass through time zones. There's different time zone. In Nigeria, it's the same time now with UK. But in America, it depends on what part of America you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of them are 9 o'clock, while some of them are 8, 7, 6, depending on your time zone. If you are in China, it is already a full working business hour. So if you're communicating with China, you will only do so around this time. If you have any business dealing with them, their stock market is already open for Monday. The same thing goes with Australia and New Zealand. There's no problem on the Yoruba soil. There's no problem with our weather. We have problems not with your politicians, but we have problems with what British created, which is called the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. And some of you stupid idiots do not want to understand that. I don't know why it's taking you so long for you to understand that Britain created Nigeria for their own selfish gain, nothing more, nothing less. I am not talking about their citizen, but I am talking about the empire that went into Africa and killed millions of Africans under slave trade and then forced us to bear a different identity. Good morning to you, my brother, Dizima 123. And you went further to say, let me first read the one on top. Akim Salami said, I have seen it. Very moving. And he's talking about the Mexican that spoke in Yoruba and translate the Yoruba anthem back to English. One in terms of his presentation, and he left the stage. Imagine a Mexican came to tell us who we are as Yoruba people. You know, we have Yoruba in Cuba, all around the world, but the presentation of this guy was the Yoruba anthem. Osoni Yoruba, Niwon Batole explain it, Lede Yoruba, and translate it to English. That was his presentation. You need to see that, which we'll try and do that during the week when we play it on the full broadcast, because I'm using my mobile phone this morning. Jayola said vitamin D for those of us outside tropical regions. UK is a very cold place like Europe, Canada, and America. So sick. Like I say, I'm sorry, it's not because of you. It's because you don't have the proper nutrient to support the weather, which is good for us. Because the The African weather is good for us, but air needs supplement of food intake that goes in your body. So that is why most of you look like people that are sick, because you don't go to the hospital at the right time. Your blood pressure should be checked, but you don't check it until some diaspora or some charity say, we will be bringing you free, what they called medical, whatever they're doing, you know what I'm talking about. When people come in back and do outreach, they do it here as well, but it's very rare. Why do I need to go to somebody that wants to come from Africa to come and do outreach so that I can check my BP? When I don't have to do that, I can go straight to my GP. There's a machine there. I've shown you before. It tells me everything I know about my body. But not just that alone. Majority of you back home are looking like people that are sick because you cannot eat 3 square meals. Most of you are stressed out. And most of you, let me not say the other one. It's just very sad. But those of us outside in a very cold tropical weather, we need the heat, but we can't get it. The little time that we even have, especially UK weather, is a very complete different weather. And this is why we are saying to you that the world is changing astrologically. And don't think that it's only your religion that is the best. Forget that nonsense, okay? Keep your religion, but have an own mind. That's what we are saying. I am not here to condemn any religion. The English or the white people bring religion. That is not my problem. From what I've even been told, the white garments have been with us for years. And we cannot do away with any religion today, regardless of your faith. You must first appreciate who you are and the reason and the purpose, because we know the fact that history of who we are before certain things start to occur. Yes, those things that have occurred, some of them are good for us. Christianity is good for us. There's nothing wrong in that. But I'm not going to sit here and accept Pope or somewhere in Vatican where they will tell us what to do when it comes to our tradition. Oh, forget your tradition, but just keep that particular, faith that is called Christianity. Most of you cannot even pray in certain churches. A Muslim can pray in any mosque. So there's just too many problems. But we're not talking about a religion here. We're talking about the free mind of people to have an independent country called their own. Nigeria is not our independent country. You must get that fact. It does not matter your love for Nigeria. I'm not saying you shouldn't love Bola Tinubu, but Bola Tinubu is not the one that will tell us what and what not to do when it comes to our struggle. And I'll be responding to a little bit of what I read from Adeyinka grandson, because he actually talked about Babakitoye. So sit back until I get to that area. So once again, my wife is gone upstairs, so I can change the TV now. I can monitor my screen. Maybe no. No. I don't want TV Plus. I want YouTube. That's it. A very good morning once again. This man says, is this how we are going to continue on the old shithole system like Nigeria? As the future for Yoruba nation is a new system that will be able to work for you and me. Mokibaba mi, awofaje mi. Ekabo sórí ètò wa. Àwọn ará ilé ń kọ́ ńbẹ̀. Àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yọ̀. Àdélẹ̀ lérí. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo ń tó gbà lọ́wọ́ wa tó jẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ wa pátá l'Elédùmarè máa kó padà fún wa. Gbogbo oore ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó kú lọ pátá ló ń padà bọ̀. Bó fẹ́ bọ́kọ̀. We will fight to the last man standing. Tó bá fẹ́ dogun kó dogun. Tó bá fẹ́ dìjà kó dìjà. Something will be free, and the Yoruba people are the one that will be free. Biafra is going. They're going home. If you hate them from here to the other. That is the problem. What is all that can be resolved in the future. Okay, grandfather me, daddy me, Dare Joe. So let's move swiftly on the U_innovate. And sorrow nipa solar eclipse. gbogbo kìíní àwọn tó mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀, àwọn tó wà nínú Ifá, wọ́n ní understanding ẹ̀. So gbogbo ilé tó yìnbó ṣe ń try láti sọ fún wa yìí, gbogbo táwọn bàbá wa fi ń ṣayé níjọ́ náà lọ́nà yẹn. Wọ́n mọ̀ gbà tó ń rùn máa jáde, wọ́n mọ̀ gbà tó yẹ kó jáde nínú ọ̀run, wọ́n mọ̀ gbà tí kò yẹ kó jáde, wọ́n mọ̀ nǹkan tó yẹ kíyàn ṣe ẹni tó bá lóyún tó jẹ́ obìnrin. Ìboríṣiríṣi náà wọ́n ní kọ́bìnrin kó lo ẹ̀kẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmi Fatoke, Mr. Benson, uncle mi ṣe gan ni. Kí ló dé tó ṣe máa ní kọ́bìnrin fi safety pins aṣọ? Àwa la ní gbogbo kìíní, because gbogbo nǹkan ló ní reasons. Àwọn àsìkò kan wà yẹn kan jáde, àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan wà, ṣe Islam náà sọ ni, ṣebí kó tó wọ toilet ó láwọn kankan tó gbọ́dọ̀ sọ, kó tó wọ bàtà ó ní bàtà tó gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, ó gbọ́dọ̀ wọ bàtà bí i left ni right ni, gbogbo kìíní láti sọnù. We are a lost generation and we are trying to bring it back. Àwọn wèrè kan dẹ̀ sọ wọn pé ká dákẹ́ pé àmọ́ tá à ń sọ. Wọ́n gba original lọ́wọ́ wa, wọ́n wá gbẹ́bulé wa lọ́wọ́, wọ́n convert ẹ̀, wọ́n gbélé wa lọ́wọ́ pé ká máa practice ẹ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan ló ní àṣírí nínú, gbogbo nǹkan ló ní ìgbésẹ̀. Ìyẹn lọ́jọ́ sọ pé èèyàn máa èmi ò force anybody pé kó dífá, but irú àwọn babaláwo nísìn àmọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. I was born as a Muslim, but nísìn tí mo ti mọ̀ nísìn àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan wà tá ti ṣìgbé tí kò bá genes wa lọ, kò bá ìràwọ̀ wa lọ. Ó lè wà fẹ́yìn Kristẹni náà àti Mùsùlùmí. Wá ní kọ́bìnrin má jáde lágo kan because time yẹn lòun jáde, because gbogbo kìíní yẹn ló ní àṣírí ní gbogbo ẹgbẹ̀gbẹ́. General Trustina mo site níbẹ̀, ẹ ṣé gan ni sir. It's not easy for those at home láti máa ra data láti máa wò wá. Àwọn lórí burúkú politicians wọ́n sọ íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì di nǹkan tó difficult. Router kan là ń lò nínú ilé, Ọlọ́run ló mọ iye kan tá connect mọ́ nínú ilé yìí. 1 2 3 4 5 6 fóònù mẹ́fà ló wà níwájú mi, laptop ní 65 inch TV nìyẹn, gbogbo TV tó wà lókè, iPad àwọn ọmọ yẹn, ti ìyàwó mi, fóònù àwọn ọmọ. Inú ilé lásán we have about more than 30 different devices ló wà connected lórí router yẹn kan. Owó kan náà dẹ̀ là ń san. Ọ̀sán gbogbo ẹ̀ ló kù díẹ̀. Ìgbádùn táwọn gbádùn yẹn kò ní jẹ́ ìgbádùn fún yín mọ́. Mo sọ fún yín, ẹ máa sọ pé kò sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe. Akọ̀ṣe ń bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlúàbí ni. Tó bá yá máa lọ kóńdó mọ́ra wa lórí. Ẹ̀yin politicians yẹn, ẹ mọ̀ kí n máa sọ fún yín, gbogbo yín pátá lẹ̀ ń wo program wa. Mo dẹ̀ sọ fún ọ lórí ètò tèmi, ó yàtọ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn ètò kù. A máa jà ní, èmi ti sọ délẹ̀, ọmọ sí mi wà lórí program. Wọ́n máa ní kí n má máa sọ, bọ̀ kò síbi ṣe lè sọ pé mo ní sọ because ó ti wà nú ẹ̀jẹ̀ mi ni. So let's come back to the program. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn Biafra and sit back and enjoy. So what we are saying is that as they continue to tell us about the solar eclipse, gbogbo kìíní àṣírí kankan ló wà lábẹ́. Ọba Elédùmarè tó dálé ayé, ó mọ purpose tó fi dá. Àwọn olórí burúkú globalist, àwọn ló change gbogbo nǹkan mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. They decided to take what is not their own. And sometimes things are going to fight them back. Gbogbo omi tó ń jà tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀, ìjì tó ń jà yẹn, ẹ̀rọ ojú lásán ni, kò ń ṣojú lásán. All these volcanoes, all these things that is happening around the world, there is a spiritual intake around it because the world does not want to accept. I want to fight back. Evil people always fight back. Evil people also fighting back because wọ́n mọ̀ pé táwọn ìran kan bá ti free, ìran wo ni? Ìran Biafra, ìran Yoruba àti Hausa. The Hausas are great people. They have their own thing just as we have our own thing. We were all separate until we were forced to live together under the entity of a fake marriage that has literally not worked. The total eclipse will become visible on the coast of Mexico around 11:07 local time tomorrow in America. The longest view of this eclipse will be between Durango and Torreon, up to 4 minutes 28 seconds. We're just talking about the solar eclipse. We're going to move away from there in a minute. But Colony reasons. Areas close to the middle of the path will experience the eclipse for longer than close at edge. So don't sọ ni pé ní ibìkan ní Mexico, Canada, ní America, everywhere will become dark. Gbogbo ẹ̀ máa ṣú. I'm sure pé bàbá mi àwọ Fájèmí àwọn àti rí Ifá ti sọ fún wọn àwọn tó ti ń dífá láti bí ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí títí di èní nísìn a máa sọ àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kó ṣe. And let me say something to us. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo kíní tó ń lọ yìí, don't think that the West are not also doing ètùtù. They are doing it, but they're not going to tell you this. Àwọn náà láwọn ètùtù tó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ṣe láti ìgbà tí wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé kíní yìí ń bọ̀, because gbogbo tó ń bọ̀ yẹn ó ní message tó ń gbé bọ̀. So ìwọ máa yín mú sí Yorùbá ò lẹ́ ń pariwo náà. Mo sọ fún ẹ, if you are a Christian, consult the gods of Christianity, whatever the God is. Ask them, ask the God of the Christianity, if Nigeria is going or not. Bia Nigeria ò ní pín. After you have got that message, padà wá kó send message sí mi, musakalam@gmail.com. So pé Koiki irọ́ ló ń pa. Kò sí bí kankan tí Christian tí Jésù sọ fún mi pé after tí mo go into the spiritual realm, because everybody can go into the spiritual realm, pé kò ní lọ. Tó bá jẹ́ Islam ní ọ̀nìyẹn, do the same thing. Tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ babaláwo nìyẹn, do the same thing. And if you don't believe in anything, tell the gods that whatever you believe in, kò bá jẹ́ igi ni, kò bá jẹ́ ère ni, kó fi àpẹẹrẹ wọn. Nigeria is going down. It is just that we are concerned that if the politician look away, it will be very bloody. Bloody also, and it could take 3 years before everything gets back to normal. Kékeré lẹ rí ní 1967, Beluja Biafra. If you think that nobody is going, you are fooling yourself. We are all going back to our roots. That will not stop the Christianity in Yoruba land. That will not stop Islam. We are intertwined. We will live side by side, and we will still have people that will live with us in our countries. Just like I live in UK, Pẹ̀lú Òyìnbó, Somali, Pakistan, India, mo bá bọ̀bọ̀ kan pàdé níjẹta ọmọ Albania. Money, where are you from? Because I know them. Ẹ̀yin lẹ́kàn rí pé gbogbo wọn lóyìnbó. No, they are not Òyìnbó. There is a pure English. Mo kí àwa Felicia Awẹ́. There are people that are not full English. And we know them by just seeing them. But you as a Yoruba man tó wà ní Nigeria, you automatic. That is why Lebanese are taking advantage of us back home. How can a Lebanese come to Africa and take advantage? Some of you don't even know the difference between the Oyinbo ni gbogbo tó ń lọ. Kò ń ṣe Oyinbo. Straight away when I saw him, I'm like, where are you from? Albania. Let's say, okay, Albania, okay. How long have you been in this country? Boy, that be kata kata. But English is not their first language as well, so you can't blame them. Our answer, Queen English, but we've used that to defraud ourselves in that shit of country. Ma born in UK, 15 years it took me to get my residential status. As at yesterday, I am still dealing with people that came to this country with COS and they're already stuck. Ma bo. Èmi ò ní kí ọ̀kan máa wá sí London, Los America. But when you come here, bó bímọ sílùú yìí, tó jẹ́ pé visa ló fi wọlé ìwà tọkọ ẹ̀, tẹ́ bá bímọ sílùú yìí, ẹ kò bímọ for nothing pé ẹ bímọ ni, kò ní gba British passport, kò dẹ̀ ní right láti gba benefit nílùú yìí. So ẹ jẹ́ kó rí yín pé kẹ́ má rò pé bí ẹ kàn bọ̀ ní UK, ẹ máa ṣiṣẹ́ ni bí kúrú. So let's move swiftly. Once again, good morning to many of you that have joined us. So let's leave that because I just wanted us to have a feel of the solar eclipse. Once again, this is a platform that focuses on self-determination. So, okay, let's take another understanding of the solar eclipse again from BBC. This is 5 hours ago. 2024 solar eclipse, a guide on where and how to watch it in North America. People across North America will be treated to the view of a lifetime. Let's get Yoruba Nation. It's going to be something of a lifetime. Bí Baba Kitoyi ṣe sọ nínú the other, I have so much book that I've used. So gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí máa fi kọ̀wé mi lọ́jọ́ iwájú nìyẹn. Baba Kitoyi told us, ẹ̀rí pé mi lélẹ̀, ìkan lélẹ̀, so eléyìí ti fò. And this is all the stupid shit for Naira. Baba Kito Ijeko Yemi Kwe. And when we are talking, I am talking to real Yoruba people. Don't wait for your life to be taken before you join the Yoruba Nation movement. The noble goes to the noble path. I think I can find out from my website. Intanjafun is a lifetime. Nobody can fix Nigeria. No amount of prayer can fix Nigeria. All these your GO. I am not here to bring any of them down. So when I mention name, don't get cuckoo. Because about the daruko and baba anything. Koiki Obama daruko daddy wa. Daddy temi ni okay. 3 in 1 lemi. Bishen shama babalawo, monshe Christianity, monshe Islam. So temi baja no. So babawa ninoluwa. Babawa Gio Ade Daddy Gio redeem. What ma Nigeria makmi. But I want people were very careful to be able to spell it out. I don't know why. Okay, let's look at it this way. Kilodeti Prophet Adebayo Sofwe Nigeria makmi is a Christian. He believes in God. God answered their prayers. Then it was of me Daddy Ade Gio Adebayo Lonje Gio Kini Giro phone. I want to make sure I got it right. Redeem. Kilo record Daddy again. Gio, you know, Jeno. Redeem. I'm not worried, married. Listen. Right here, my Daddy. Makali Mako from anywhere. Yeah, Daddy Gio. Yeah. Kilo de worry. Why are some men of God can say it and they are spelling it out? Wait, Nigeria is gone. But our church can refuse that is so. Daddy Adeboye. Iya dura momo dada. Wali na momo mi. Iya dura kono beni. That has that big massive church that was just built not too long ago. Near somewhere around not Lekki or somewhere, Victoria, like that, I don't know. But a church is somewhere here in Clapham where I have been privileged to walk and be there and I enjoy the services. Wally ever saw for me pé Ọlọ́run ti found a message pé Nigeria máa pín. I'm talking about Iyadura. The same thing goes to Imam Ofa. The same thing goes to whoever you want to mention. We are not bringing them down. We're just saying that they know. Because how can one see it? Yeah, Pastor Enoch Adejare Adeboye, Eshegoni. Prophet Nasrullah said it clearly that the flag of Nigeria is now full in blood. And it translated what that means. So are we saying that okay, if I saw it is clearly stated that there is a country that is going to be born, which is Yoruba nation is going. Nigeria will split. All these sentiments that some Nigerians are still putting, we go and take away, we will vote 2027. Okay, you can still vote 2027. I don't know whether Nigeria will have been splitted. Ashigon, your comfort, Adeleye. I am not here to say whether it will split before 2027, but my prayer is it split tomorrow, tonight. All these, that is what the West is telling you. Oh, get PVC and use that to vote. Vote for who? The first election was rigged by Britain. Do you know what that means? Britain rigged the first ever election. And as this man said, under Yoruba Nation self-determination, we will be exporting intellectual property, economic right to benefit everyone, everywhere around the world. Olodumare bless Yoruba self-determination. What is difficult for us to understand there? Oh, you don't want to lose that name. No, what is it difficult to understand that the name Nigeria is a formation that was put together after the Second World War, which Lugard was just doing the bid of the empire, the British Empire in 1914. What is difficult there? Or you just appreciate that we are Nigeria. Which Nigeria? It is a creation. And whatever is created that is not ours, why must we keep it? So what is difficult there? Oh, because Fayoshe say we keep Nigeria. We're going to fix Nigeria economy. Nigerian economy is destroyed by Buhari, but PDP will come and fix it. Which PDP? You are crazy. Bomb bastard. Which PDP is going to fix our true identity? Our true identity has been stolen away from us. And I appreciate one of our mothers that spent thousands of pounds producing these. Our true identity is one people. Does not mean that we will not have other peoples living with us in the near future. Now, definitely we will have different people that will come and live with us. Just like I left Nigeria to come and live with people in England, which is called United Kingdom, and narrowly down to London, which I have lived for the last 20 years plus. I've lived with different people. Some of them are not comfortable with them, but I don't have any choice because this is not my home. Because my mom could see the future, left Nigeria because something was just not right with the dollar in 1990 when my mom ran away from Nigeria. Don't let anybody fool you that I just left Nigeria because I didn't feel like living. No, everybody ran away from Nigeria because something was not right in that shit old country. My mom noticed that in the 90s with this dollar. And she left because these value become difficult. Not that they were not making money. And that is the reason why I found myself here as well. So today that some of you are here, you have studied from Harvard, you have BSc, you have masters, you have PhD, you are crazy. And you want to use that to come and fix a system that failed from the day one. How do you do that? So let's now go into the conversation. Let's leave the solar eclipse and move on. What is self-determination? Tabani self-determination. Is self-determination the same thing as the normal political party? How can some idiot Yoruba people come and say, Koiki, Igboho has a lot of crowd. Do you guys go and set up political party and use that to first establish into the southwest states, and then we can then use that to get Yoruba nation? It's because we are still very stupid to take our right. When we are ready to take our right, we do not need any nonsense from any political parties. We will shut it down and we will take what belongs to us. But because we are still stupid to be accepting the politician as our gods, mini God. Because it's ready. When we are ready to do what we need to do, we will not wait for them. We will activate. They are not as powerful as some of you think they are. They are not. Those politicians are not powerful. They have literally, or we have literally given them the privilege for them to think that they are powerful than us. Your politicians, they're not powerful. Any boss, they will find their first exit to Benin Republic where they will run away with their passport that they bought already. Most of them have foreign passport. It's $80,000. You can buy any country residency that will allow you to travel out of Africa with $80,000. A lot of us don't have it. That is why we have to sacrifice 15 years. But the politicians have the money because it's a stolen money from the resources that belongs to every Nigerian, as we are not Nigerian, but at least to use that as a phrase. Go and form political party. Yóò tẹ̀lé ẹgbẹ́ oníbà ìgbọ́n kan tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà mọ̀ bí ascoins kan wà lórí wọn. Ẹ lè máa gbọ́ mi nísìn. Throughout over the period that we started the movement, ó dà ń pọ́ máa ń yọ Lady K náà lẹ́nu, because I heard Lady K at some point talked about the same guy. Wọ́n lọ bá ẹ jẹ́ ká force ká lọ form political party. Ká lọ form political party. So tàbá form political party, àwa lo crowd Ìgbòho yẹn àfi form political party. It's nonsense. We're talking about a pullout. When we pull the brake, everybody will jack. When you're driving a car, you pull the brake, everything will fall apart. Then everything will settle down, and it could take 3 years. That is what we are saying. We are not ready. When we're ready, we pull the brake. Lomo, kò sí nǹkan tí bàbá ńlá yín máa ṣe. Ẹ kó gbogbo àwọn MC Olúọmọ jáde àti Koko Zaria. Ẹni máa kú máa kú, ẹni máa yé ni. Ẹ kó gbogbo ọlọ́pàá jáde àti sójà. Ẹni máa kú máa kú, ẹni máa yé ni. Ó ní dá fún gbogbo yín. Àìtí dé stage yẹn ni. Ẹ má kó dé stage yẹn ká tó gbọ́ síra wa lẹ́nu. Kò sí bàbá ńlá ọba kan tó lè sọ fún wa pé kí nǹkan máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Tásìkò yẹn bá tó. Because à ń sọ nísìn, ẹ̀ ń ṣe bí ìwà tẹ́ pé ẹ kí ló ń sọ. Ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ni, ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn náà gbogbo alájọ ní. And let me now tell you what Adeyinka grandson said that I picked up in his message. And this is coming from one of his posts. And I've been following him since he's been out of the prison in the last couple of weeks, especially on X. But this particular one, I found a little bit, okay. He talked about Baba Akintoye a little bit. When we started the movement, I've heard about him, the movement through Baba Akintoye. Some people know Adeyinka grandson because he's been speaking. Everybody has a particular time that you speak. As a Kotolon, now I'm embarrassing sorrow, Lori Yoruba Nation. But I've been condemning Nigeria, for a very long time. And like I said, I've had the privilege, at least with the little time, to meet many of the politicians, even up to Lalong, Simon Lalong. When I'm born in Plateau State, I know them because when they come to London, they call us, media, come and do a report for us, right? That. And eventually you realize that they are nothing. But you guys see them as something. We don't see them as nothing because I'm eating 3 square meals. I'm okay. And I've never lobbied from any of them. Let them come out and say, you don't know. I've never lobbied. I've met Igbinedom. That one always, every year, hosts the King of Ashanti, from what I was told. I never get paid for that job. All the ambassadors of Africa were all present at that event. Big event. King of Ashanti, Igbinedom Kono. I don't know the relationship that they have, but he sponsored the coronation yearly of the King of Ashanti right here in London. Massive event. Because see network of all these ambassadors that I don't know. It's a privilege because the job I'm doing gave me that access. I've met Sanusi 101. I've met Bola Shagaya. Go tell if you 100 pounds. Bola Shagaya, that billionaire woman. I met her, not 100 pounds. I want to tell you, they are not politicians. Talk about what UK going your paper for. But some of you see them as people that are relevant. I don't see them as people that are relevant. Okewo was with me when the former Nigerian ambassador was doing his 80th birthday. Okewo was a billionaire. How can you be a billionaire? You don't have access to internet with your phone. Your phone will be down here. It shows that there is little that they understand as well. Any motion connect your spot me pẹ̀lú Aburo. If phone you ṣiṣẹ́, money. I was wondering phone money kò ṣiṣẹ́. Phone olówó. Money kí ló dé kò ṣiṣẹ́. Mo wo phone yẹn bá kò sí internet lórí ẹ̀. Money daddy kò sí internet lórí ẹ̀ ni. Okay, kí la máa ṣe ní ṣe kí n share hotspot pẹ̀lú yín. Gave me his phone. Nígbà tó fẹ́ lọ tí toilet tó fẹ́ lọ yọ mi gàrí. Àbúrò gbá fóònù ìdání máa kó gbá fóònù ìdání. Tó bá ti ring ó lè gbé. Olówó. My G ṣolówó. Ṣolówó ṣo lè spend on your own privilege. Every ìgbè tí bá fi connect pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá yẹn ni. But Ọlọ́run ti ní pé iṣẹ́ kan ṣì ń bọ̀ fúnra wa báyìí. That's why I can sit here boldly and lambast any bastard, any one of them. What kilo come pẹ̀lú mo jẹ́ no way, mo jẹ́ no owó wọn ni. Tí sùn mama. Wọ́n pẹ́ tí sùn ni. Tají lójú orin kí ni mo fẹ́ ṣe sí báyìí. That's why I can lambast them. Mo jẹ́ no owó wọn ni. Olówó ni bàbá tèmi náà. Olówó dẹ̀ sì ni mi at least. So you need come here. Let marry one as big people. Big people. They're not big. They are not big. I've told you so many times. They are wicked. The most wicked people that you can ever come across. Go to Djibouti and drive to Petrolex and tell me if anything exists there. It's all fraud. Amo Baba Jebuloni, Petrolex. Google it. It's all fraud. But you are idiot, still defending when people are using us to go and collect money from abroad and use different investors and I remember when they were building that Petrolex. I had the privilege to enter the big facilities. Once of because I was driving somewhere lately and I was seeing petrol tank. I want 40-foot containers packed somewhere. They have them all over London. And I remember straight away that, but there was something they said they wanted to build next to the Petrolex, hotel, tank. The purpose of the Petrolex was where it will be used. It's the biggest farm tank in Africa. Elosibeke report if it's still working. The day of the event, who is who in the industry were all there. But some of you, let's quickly play the video of this guy since this phone went cuckoo. Listen to this.
Work, responsibility, duty for our land, for our soil, our responsibility for our land, our duty for our soil, for the land of our birth. Kagbega fún ayeri, kagbega fún aye latiri. Let's lift it up for the world to see. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé, our belief is that bí a ti bí ẹrú ni a bí ọmọ. Ìbí ojú bí. The way a slave is born is the same way a child is born. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Tìbá jọ ṣiṣẹ́, tàbá jọ ṣiṣẹ́, a máa jọlá. Let's work together. Let's be wealthy together. Let's work together. Let's break through together. Let's work together. Let's make it together. Ìṣọ̀kan àti òmìnira. Ìṣọ̀kan. Iṣẹ́ ọ̀kan. The act of doing as one. Tí àwọn olóyìnbó ń sọ, tí àwọn olóyìnbó ń pè ní unity àti òmìnira. Unity and freedom. Ní kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Ní kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lé ipa ẹ̀. That should be our driving force. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ́pọ̀ ìrẹ́. Ìtẹ̀síwájú fún ọ̀pọ̀ ìrẹ́. Let's continue in plenty of goodness. Àti ohun tó dára and everything that is good. Ọmọ Oòduà, ẹ dìde o. Children of Oòduà, let's rise up. Osipo etore, enter into your right to develop this land. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. You are the light of the black race. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni.
Majority of all these people inside
Mo
these.
fẹ́ jẹ́ ká ní òye sí nípa
That's enough.
àwọn.
Gbogbo àwọn tó jókòó tó ń clap yìí, most of them are from one Nigeria, but a Mexican has to come and explain who we are through our own anthem. But we don't value it because and it's not a pure English, okay? He's a Mexican. There's a difference between him and a true pure English man. But we appreciate him for bringing a conscious mind to Yoruba people. Let me see if I can even recite that anthem myself. As I don't know whether I think we recited it when we started the program. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ibi wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàlèrè. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bí ẹrú làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ṣé ipò wa la wà? Ipò tó yẹ ká wà la wà nísìn. Ìwọ ni, àwa ni, ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Jókòó sínú Nàìjíríà kó máa wá ìmọ́lẹ̀, kó máa lọ sí church, kó máa lọ sí mọ́ṣáláṣí, kó náà wá ó fẹ́ ṣoríire. Ọ̀nà wo ló fẹ́ gbà ṣoríire? Àwọn òyìnbó mọ̀ pé elédè kan náà ni wá, one language, one culture, one people. Ìyẹn ló gbà lọ́wọ́ wa. Wọ́n gbé pẹ̀tùpẹ̀tù lé wa lọ́wọ́, and I'm not talking about religion now, okay? I'm just talking about the entity tó ń pè ní Nigeria, that fake entity. And brother mi Simon Adebisi sọ pé musicians are making them look big. Àwọn olóṣèlú yìí, they are not big. Ṣèyí Mákindé, when he became the first governor, nígbà tó kọ́kọ́ jẹ governor gbàrà, London bíbá ẹ lọ gbé wá, ní somewhere around ìbọn wọn pè bẹ́ẹ̀ Katode village, hotel kan wà níbẹ̀. Pàdé mi kọ́ ọmọ Ìbàdàn ni, ó wà ní media. Èmi lọ request fún bá a pé Koiki, because wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tí bá project, it goes out quicker. I did not get paid for that. I took a picture with him, which I have evidence. That's what I normally do then, so that it can become a record. Every single one of them, not gbogbo wọn, but majority of them, àti PDP àti APC. Ó láwọn PDP big guns, ó wà níbí ìbàdàn pé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe event wọn báyìí, ó tẹ̀ ní máa kan. Koiki, where are you? Mo ní ṣe kò sí. We need your service, please come around. Big office ló ní ní UK níbí báyìí. I was just doing my job as a media. So you learn one as people. We don't see them as nothing. And there's always a proxy behind everything that you see. They wanted to sponsor me, but I refused. Columban from Kelton Badapo Williams. He begged me. I turned it down. And I'm grateful I did, because it would have been a very big disaster with a lot of Yoruba nation, because in Yoruba. And when he was begging me, although Yoruba nation with a pop up, he was begging me, I will make sure that we put your brand to wherever you want it to be. Money, no. It's not interested. And that is why I knew that Ben Television was a proxy. kí Alester Soyode jáde kó sọ pé irọ́ ni mo pa mọ́ òun. Ibo ni Ben wà lẹ́ni nísìn, kò sí owó yẹn mọ́ nísìn láti fi fund it. When they were funding it, they were using that for a purpose. That purpose has been completed. That's why you cannot see it anymore. TVC, Teshinre Lori Sky, is because Tinubu owns TVC. So it doesn't matter. These are politician wealth. They will pump the money in until the money drains. Ìjọ tí Tinubu bá ti kúrò ní power, tí kò rówó yẹn mọ́, kò ní. Do you know how much it is to run TVC on Sky? You think it's cheap money? Idiot all over the place. Sit down in Nigeria and say you want to fix Nigeria. But Bell to fix Nigeria. He already Nigeria fix. All these corrupt politicians that are working with the West. Stolen wealth brought into here and different part of the globe. Proxies all over the place. So montan pe ni proxies. Olówó ni bàbá yẹn. Níbo ló ti lówó? Owó náà dà ló ní. Ó ṣe kọ́ hotel ní Koiki, wàá rò hotel tó kọ́. Ìkànṣẹ́ kọ́ hotel. Àwọn politicians náà lọ máa pè síbẹ̀. Ṣèbí gbogbo wọn jọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ hand in hand ni. Go and give me a report back on the Petrolex, because lára àwọn tí ó mú èmi wọnú Petrolex yẹn, tó bá jẹ́ pé Petrolex yẹn máa ṣiṣẹ́, ẹni yẹn ò ní sí ní Nàìjíríà mọ́, kò ní sí abroad, and I'll just leave it like that. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ dá kọ̀ọ̀kan mọ̀, ẹ̀yin kàn rí picture wọn nínú agbádá, àwa ń rí wọn nínú wòwò wọn pé olè olórí burúkú làwọn ilé, àwọn ilé yóò ní kankan ṣe fẹ́ anybody. Ìbẹ́yìn lẹ́rìn wọn nínú agbádá, mo kí ìyá mi Fọláṣadé Òjó. Petrolex was meant to take crude, finished, refined products, dumped into it, and they will use that to stop the traffic going to Lagos. That was the whole purpose of the project. The biggest farm tank, is the biggest farm tank in Africa. Fraud ni gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ, kọ́ wá jáde kọ́ sọ fún pé rọ́ọ̀nì mọ́ pa, kò ní dá fún gbogbo wọn. Àwọn ọmọ bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú ló ní, ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀ òṣì. Ìyẹn bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú wá gbé góòlù sọ́run, wọ́n fi yẹn deceive yín, wọ́n ní kẹ́yìn máa lọ play kálukálu. Wọ́n ń ṣe lottery, ẹ fẹ́ win ní lottery, ẹ fẹ́ fi lottery fi dolówó. When we can set up a system that many of us will be enjoying, ẹ kí l'Amazon ṣe. Bọ̀bọ̀ kan fún mi ní explanation Amazon yẹn, orí mi burst ni. Because ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú wọn dáadáa. A lè set up just a logistic tó yẹ kò jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ máa ṣú nílẹ̀ Yorùbá 24/7 ni. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan l'Amẹ́ríkà mo tẹ̀ gbúrò wọn mọ́ láti jọ́ mẹ́ta. I don't even know whether he's still with us after Tony Tiri ti dá gbogbo ẹ̀rù. The other busy ni. Truck tó bá ń drive l'Amẹ́ríkà is $1 million worth of goods ni ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn máa ń gbé sórí truck wọn. Amazon product. Yoruba land is not meant to be sleeping. It's meant to be a 24 hours economy, moving goods and services. Jókòó síbi bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń pa àwọn olóṣì àwọn politicians olórí burúkú látòkèdè láti Tinubu kò ní dá fún gbogbo wọn ní ṣoríire. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀, mo lọ sí ilé Ṣèyí Tinubu, mo sọ pé ibo ló ti rówó tó fi ra ilé $11 million. Wọ́n ló ń ṣe business lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, business òfòwò ló ń ṣe, ó ń ṣe monopoly. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀, wọ́n ti kó iye yín lọ. Ẹ lè think fúnra yín, àwa la tún bá yín think. Èèyàn máàlì, ẹ wá síbẹ̀ máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ tó lọ. Ìwọ pàdé wọn rí ni. Ibo ni wọ́n ti pàdé wọn rí, kó wá sọ bí tó ti pàdé wọn rí. Ìṣe ìwọ pàdé wọn rí, ibo ló ti pàdé wọn rí. Ṣèbó rí Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù ovation kan ló ti ń rí wọn ni. Ó fi máa compare Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù gan ẹgbọ́n wọn lè náwọn rí. Ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni mo ti lọ ṣe coverage fún Ìyá Àdúrà ní Lagos State. Ìyá Àdúrà dẹ̀kọ́ ló sponsor mi. Mo kàn ní access láti wọlé torí pé mo wá fún ọ ní free coverage. Wọ́n ọ̀dẹ̀ sanwó fún mi. But I'm happy to do it. Because gbogbo nǹkan kọ́ lówó. Sometimes you do things for the future, for networking. Èèyàn dẹ̀ òṣì. Jókòó síbi àwa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ torí pa jókòó sórí screen. Ìbẹ́ ìwọ rí wọn rí ni. Ṣé wọ́n ní access wọn? Access mélòó ló ní sí wọn? Kọ́lọ́n fọ́n Kẹ́dàpọ̀ Williams. Let's continue. Continue to try to fix Nigeria. So let's come back to Adeyinka grandson. Jagba tẹ́lẹ̀ kọ sínú ibiba. because of a response to the when the Yoruba Nation started, everybody was saying that and chef Atikuni, and chef from Destiny. Yoruba Nation yen lábẹ́ bàbá Akíntóyè rọ́lọ́n pa. Ṣèbó ti jáde láti inú prison ní sí. Ṣé nígbà tó jáde, sórí àwa tá sá kúrò nínú Yoruba Nation. And I'm responding to Adeyinka grandson now. Based on what I'm going to read now. He posted this 3 days ago. A title, Unraveling Political Agendas of IPOB and Ilana Omodua. I'm not going to curse him. But I am just telling him that tó bá jẹ́ pórí ẹ̀ pé ni nígbà tó jáde nínú prison àbí nígbà tó wà nínú prison ṣé kò gbọ́ pé a ṣì ń ṣe Yorùbá Nation lọ ṣèbó náà ọmọ Ìgbò lèmi. So let me read it, then I will then respond to him a little bit. Before my imprisonment as a British political prisoner, I asserted that the agitations of the Igbo under IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu for the Biafra Republic and the demand of the Yoruba Libra. Àwa ló ń pè ní Libra o. Lọ́dọ̀ tí wọn, àwa ni Libra, àwọn ni conservative. Jagba jagba jogbo jogbo. Jagba jagba jogbo jogbo. Àwa ni Libra. Let's continue. Through the Ilana Omodua, led by Professor Adebanji Akintoye, for the Oduduwa Republic, would cease if Tinubu were elected president of Nigeria. Let me repeat it again. Before my imprisonment as a British political prisoner, I asserted that the agitations of the Igbo under IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu for the Biafra Republic and the demand for the Yoruba liberals through Ilana Omo Odua, led by Professor Akintoye for Oduduwa Republic, would cease if Tinubu were elected president of Nigeria. In case you don't understand those meaning of two things there, cease, C-E-A-S-E, Charlie Echo Alpha Sarah Echo. Let me give you the full meaning. Kelly, if you're understanding it. So let's go to Google.
Cease. Cease.
Come or bring to an end. Has the Yoruba Nation been ended or has it ended? Nígbà tí Tinubu ti dé president. It's a question. Eba mi fi sínú comment section because ẹ má kọ́ máa wò mí. Kì máa ní bí ẹran rí rẹsì. Eba mi fi, because we are responding back to this. I'm not going to curse him. But you can see that, you know, they come up with all this nonsense. So on Sunday simply, Ingba tí Tinubu ti débẹ̀, cease. Ben Yami Folashade, that it will stop. Have we stopped our campaign for Yoruba Nation since the Tinubu ti dé president? Shall it stop? No, but Yoruba Nation kokomo láti ìgbà tí Tinubu ti débẹ̀ in 10 months, because Tinubu has been in president since 10 months. Commenting, kàn wò mí. Ẹ ká pa broadcast ká lọ sùn. Kúkú sanwó fún mi ní bíbá. We are talking about something that is serious. It is important that people respond because you're watching me. You can see me. You can hear me. We are not ghosts. Because there's no point if we're talking, you don't respond. Then you don't have to be here. And let's respond back to YYF under Adeyinka grandson. So expectation ti ẹni pé Bàbá Akíntóyè, ṣé Bàbá Akíntóyè wá jọ olórí burúkú Adéníran tí kò ní kúre níbi tó wà tó bà gbogbo Yorùbá Nation jẹ́. Dìbà àwọn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu. Àbí gbogbo ọ̀rí picture Wálé Adéníran olòṣì bàbá òfò yẹn tí kò ní kú síbi táṣọ ẹ̀ wà, àwọn bàbá òṣì tó fi poison Bàbá Akíntóyè tó mú ìmọ̀ àti gbowó. Ẹ kí mo sọ fún yín pé story yẹn ó dijọ́ iwájú kí n tó sọ délẹ̀. Ó gbé mi àti gbowó ìrìn àjò kan tó bá ń jẹ́ pàwà gan adúró dáadáa ni. Maybe gbogbo tá à ń sọ yìí, maybe they would have ambushed me and Igbowo. Ìyẹn bàbá Wálé Adéníran lórí burúkú yẹn, bàbá òfò yẹn tó kò ní kú síbi táṣọ ẹ̀ wà. Àwọn ọmọ ní jèrè ẹ̀, bàbá òṣì, bàbá òfò. Over 2 hours drive. La débẹ̀ la ní kí ni gbogbo jágbajàgba yìí. I'm talking about Wálé Adéníran. Ó dọjọ́ wájú. So lọ́kàn Adéyínká grandson. So bí àgbà tó máa fi jáde láti prison, Yorùbá nation kò ní sí mọ́. Ẹ rí pé orí ò pé. Kò torí ẹ̀ bá pé ni kò ní mọ̀ pé àwa àṣìṣe fàtìkù. Let's continue. My prediction was rooted in the belief that this agitation, ìyẹn àwa tá agitate fún Yorùbá nation, serve as a smoke screen to thwart Tinubu presidential aspiration. Because ntí olórí burúkú Dípò Onítìrí náà gbé wá nìyẹn. Tó fi sọ pé wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu ní bàbá dìbọ́nkà ẹ rántí olórí number 1 olòṣìyà tí kò lè ó wá difficult fún láti pe Ìgbòho jáde ó wá ń pe Ìgbòho ní olórí number 2 ìyá òfò tó ò ní kú síbi táṣọ ẹ wà àwọn ọmọ ní jèrè ẹ. My prediction Adéyínká grandson ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí lórí Facebook page wọn Young Yoruba for Freedom YYF 3 days ago ó kọ pop up sórí screen mi náà ni. My prediction was rooted in the belief that these agitations of Baba Akintoye àtàwọn tí Nnamdi Kanu served as a smoke screen láti make sure pé Tinubu ò ní di president láti favour Atiku. I'm not here to sit down and be saying, tó bá jẹ́ pé mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Atiku kí no. I'm very stupid. Ìwọ ni kó lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ babaláwo ẹ àbí kó lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ àfáà ẹ àbí wòlíì ẹ pé ṣáwọn tó jókòó tó ń gbé Yorùbá nation yìí kí ni àníyàn wọn sí Yorùbá nation. That's all I will say. Kì í wọ́n jẹ́ kìkì máa sọ pé tọ́lọ́mọba tó bá jẹ́ pé mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Atiku mi ṣe máa sọ ìwọ ni kí ìwọ lọ find out. Ṣèbí gbogbo yín ti lọ find out tẹ́lẹ̀ abẹ́ find out. Especially like somebody like me. Ẹ ti lọ káàkiri Ifá sọ fèmí náà gbogbo bẹ ṣe ń rìn tẹ́ ń gbórúkọ mi káàkiri Ifá ń fèmí náà ní message and I'm taking those messages very serious. Àwọn wòlíì ń fún mi ní message àwọn àfáà ń fún mi ní message pé ṣáà wà very careful. Most importantly má ní anything ṣe pẹ̀lú obìnrin kankan tó wá kọ́síkọ́ tó ní mo like yín mo ti níyàwó mo náwọn ìyàwó tèmi and I'm very satisfied with them. If you can stick to that kò sí kankan. Wọ́n lè ti gbìyànjú náà in 3 years. Mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe oníranù. Kò ní dá fún gbogbo yín ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire. Tí mo ń tẹjọ gbé kájọ gbé Yorùbá nation dání. Màá bá yín tatán délẹ̀. Délẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Intan fàì ẹ rò pé kékeré ni. Èmi náà dúró mo sọ fún yín. Tí bàbá mi bá sùn níbi tó kú sí, màá ní kó bá mi jí òkú yẹn padà láti make sure pé lórí ìrìn àjò yìí kò gbọ́dọ̀ sùn tá máa fi débi tá à ń lọ. Màá bá yín tatán délẹ̀ owó ló máa jẹ kò ní jàgbàdo ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire ní dá fún gbogbo yín pátápátá. Ẹ jà continue. Àwa ń ṣiṣẹ́ fat èmi má ti kú ni kò ní dá fún Àtíkù kò ní dá fáwọn ìran Àtíkù. Ó ní smoke screen ni pàwọ́ fẹ́ fi destabilize Tinubu ni ṣebí Tinubu ti débẹ̀ tán nísìn. Ẹ máa gbọ́ nǹkan tóun náà sọ níbí báyìí ẹ máa gbọ́ délẹ̀ ó kù díẹ̀. I further posited that Tinubu's presidency will quell òyìnbó kan nìyẹn ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo mí nínú ẹ̀ quell Quell. Màá break it down fún yín. Quell. Kí ni meaning quell? Put an end to a rebellion or disorder typically by the use of force. Ó ní òun rò pé mo fẹ́ sọ lédè tó máa yé wa ni. He thinks that by the time Tinubu posited that presidency, it will quell the agitation for Biafra as the Igbo will fear being granted Indigbo Republic by Tinubu if they persisted with their demands. Additionally, I suggested that members of Ilana Omo Oòduà lábẹ́ Professor Adebanji Akintoye will abandon their pursuit of Oduduwa Republic as their primary motivation was opposition to Tinubu presidency to his Yoruba heritage. Ṣé rí pórí ẹ̀ ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó. Ṣọ́rọ̀ lílé tó ń sọ yìí. Dà pé tí Tinubu bá ti débẹ̀, the whole movement will be it will end. That is what Adeyinka grandson wrote out 3 days ago. The ones that sometimes I wonder what kind of weed that age smokes. This movement is older than Tinubu presidency ambition. In fact, it started from the start too. I used to like this fool, but he's now compromised. This is what he wrote. That Labe Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the whole movement will be quelled. Hey, ma. Èmi lọ́lé ni mo lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá Akintoye àti Igboho kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ social media. Mo fly lọ sílé, màmá mi wà lórí program. Friday tí máa kúrò ní UK mo ṣe lọ dágbére fún mọ́mísí mi. Because I fẹ́ lọ confirm pé ìtagbédá ni ṣé because àwa ready ni. Ìyẹn kan wá ń sọ pé ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Àtìkù. Ó fẹ́ quell. Ló ń jẹ́ quell. Ó kù díẹ̀. Gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ kọ́ là ń sọmọ síta. Wọ́n ní gbogbo aṣọ kọ́ là ń sá sórùn. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ni máa ń pariwo gbá gbogbo. Àwọn èèyàn ti pè mí Koiki gbogbo tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe gbé sábẹ́ ẹkùn. Àwọn ìyá àgbàlagbà wọ́n pè wá pé Koiki ẹ má gbà fún wọn. Àwọn ìyá àgbàlagbà in their 70s tó wà labroad. Wọ́n ní àwọn ò lè ṣe mọ́, àwọn ti dàgbà. Ẹ̀yin ò gbọ́dọ̀ gbà fún wọn. Ìyẹn kan wá sọ fún mi pé ìtagbé dání pé kékeré ni. Má sọ fún yín pé ìtagbé dání ọ̀tọ̀ ní eré lórí movement Yorùbá nation. Ọ̀tọ̀ níṣẹ́. Èmi ojú ọ̀run mo ti jí nísìn láti wá ṣe program. Ìyẹn ó yẹ kí n wà pẹ̀lú ìyàwó mi lókè nísìn. Bá tẹ̀ ṣe mọ́mí and daddy kí n máa rọ̀kì lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Mo wá jókòó síbẹ̀ mo ń pariwo ẹ̀rọ kò ní da fún bàbá ẹ̀ ni mo sọ ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire. Ẹ rò pé mò ń ṣeré ni. Ó yẹ kí n wà lókè kí n wà pẹ̀lú ìyàwó mi lókè kájọ máa rọ̀kì. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Sọ fún ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú yẹn. Ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró. Let's continue. Additionally, we quell the agitation for Biafra as the Igbo will fear pé ẹ̀rù máa bà àwọn Igbo. I listened 2 hours títí tí mo fi jẹ dinner mi tán. Simon Ekpa ṣì ń address wọn ní Belgium. Tẹ́ bá ní kò ní ṣe kájọ máa wò. Ó máa ṣe kò ní ṣe, we leave it to them. But I pray that the Lord God, the Elédùmarè, will continue to give him the strength. Ó ti ní ìbọn làwọn máa fi bá gbogbo nǹkan jà. Violent to violent. Ìbọn sí ìbọn ni kò sí. Ẹ ló gbọ́ program ẹ̀. Ó ṣe wà lórí social media. The one he did yesterday. It will be violent for violent. Kò sí anything. Ó ní tó bá fẹ́ gbé òun lọ sí anywhere in the world òun ready. Pé láti fi defend àwọn èèyàn òun. Àwọn máa ta tán ni. Máa sọ pé ó ṣeré ni. Tó bá ṣàtọ́ àsìkò yẹn, tó bá bí bàbá tiẹ̀ dá ìwọ lọ sí South East. December fẹ́ dé tán. Ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ ni. Kọ́lọ̀ ń ṣe gbogbo àdìgbà yẹn. Ẹ má release Nnamdi Kanu. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè. Ẹ jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú yẹn la máa fi fọlẹ̀ yẹn mọ́, tá máa fi bọ́ sílẹ̀ tuntun. Ẹ ní ṣoríire. Àwọn èèyàn wà labroad. Alájà kan pè mí. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ ọ́díò wọn ní Saudi Arabia? Ó ti wà ń bẹ̀ látọdún 3. Gbà tèmi máa fi mọ̀ nìyẹn. Wọ́n fún wọn níwèé. Ọlọ́pàá ń lé wọn káàkiri. Lé wọn bò síbí. Lé wọn sọ̀bọ̀n. Ó pàdé Hausa is the first language of Nigeria. Idiot all over the place. Let's continue. Following my release from prison, ó ń ṣàlàyé pé nígbà tó jáde ní ẹ̀wọ̀n tó ń lọ, I have observed a significant decline in the Igbo demands for Biafra Republic. Irọ́. Yes, there was some hidden agenda by Olórí Burúkú Peter Obi táwọn òyìnbó fẹ́ lò láti fi destabilize Biafra. So Peter Obi thought it would be more smarter than Tinubu. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ bá 419 criminal gidi. Wọ́n sọ fún mi pé kò ń ṣe criminal kò ní da fún bàbá ẹ̀. Ṣé owó cocaine ò gbanú account ẹ̀ kọjá tó náà wọ́n mọ̀ pé owó cocaine ni? Náà owó ìdú ni. Ṣé tíyàn kan bá fún mi lówó nísìn, màá sọ pé owó ìdú lélẹ̀ àbí owó àkàrà? Ìwọ tó ń ṣe nǹkan ò ní mọ̀ pé nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn kò right. Tìbí gbogbo alámọ̀ tá à ń ṣe ní ẹ̀yìn inú yàrá wa. tí kò sí wọn síta ṣèbó dìgbà tó bá wọn síta la Koiki wọn náà ń dán kan wò báyìí. So owó cocaine kò ń ṣe owó clean money lówó cocaine as an accountant ṣé gbogbo ọgbọ́n America kò fẹ́ yẹ ká rí gbogbo tó ń lọ nìyí. The reason why they did not want us to know is because Tinubu is the president. It will be a disaster for America to release every detail. Kò sí nǹkan tó mọ̀ nípa Tinubu. America knows everything about him because from the day he got to America, from the time he exited America, they have his record. Just like I have lived in this country. Every record me wà lọ́wọ́ UK, even with my fingerprint. So you think that America will be stupid because one boy that wants to bring Tinubu down called David Odoye because he's doing his job, then they will now release information to them to fight Tinubu and allow Peter. No, America is not going to do that. So if you're expecting that, it's not going to happen. So let's continue. So he says, and I'm speaking, this is Adeyinka grandson 3 days ago. From my release from prison, I have observed a significant decline in Igbo demands for Biafra Republic. Many former members, listen to this now, many former members of Ilana Omo Oodua have shifted their focus away from the Yoruba Nation Now campaign. Who are those members? Tajuddin Rahim, that idiot, that bomb bastard Yoruba man that wanted to shine and take charge of the Yoruba in UK and Europe. And they say, you can't. You don't live in Europe. Deal with the chairmanship in UK alone. He says no. He went on the Twitter, on the there's another platform that they normally speak. It's not Twitter. I can't remember now. And Yoruba Nation Clubhouse. And say he brought me into Yoruba Nation. Kò ní dá fún bàbá Tajuddin Rahim. Ó ní ṣoríire níbi tó bá wà. For lying against me. Mo mọ̀ ẹ́rí tẹ́lẹ̀ ní nígbà tí mi jáde tí mo ń pariwo Yoruba Nation. Bomb bastard. If he's talking about those ones, yes, those ones don't shift to Tinubu. Wale Adeniran ló ṣe olórí burúkú, the former deputy to Baba Akintoye that wanted to poison Baba Akintoye. Not wanted, he poisoned Baba Akintoye. He wanted to kill him. Not just Baba Akintoye. He would have killed me and Igboho. And I'll just leave it like that. But Ọlọ́run ló ní káwọn Elédùmarè wá pẹ̀lú. I will not throw that there. Because when we got to where he took us, we're wondering, what nonsense is this? Baba, sorry, Baba, it's not everything we expose down. I'm talking about Wale Adeniran. If you know him, say that Koiki said so. But Imbolemu Koiki ati Igboho cause of ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá súnmọ́ bàbá ọ̀fọ̀ yẹn kò ní kú síbi tá a ṣe wá àwọn ọmọ ní jèrè ẹni mo sọ. I'll leave it like that. So if he's talking about those ones, yes. If he's talking about people that went with Onitiri, yes. They left the truth of Baba Akintoye and follow the nonsense woman. But kò lè dárúkọ àwa. So it should not put every one of us together. Yes, people have fallen apart of the movement. I want to Lord Dibo. We saw them, the Tinubu bloggers. So that is not new. They fall in love with Tinubu, that is their right. Tinubu is there now. 700 people have been killed every month in the last 10 months of Tinubu's government. And like I did a program yesterday, even though majority of you did not sponsor that program. Okay, can I sponsor program money? $1 nemo so every program I'm doing. It will help for us to do a lot. Ẹ̀yin ṣe kẹ́ wá rò pé ẹ̀yin ò ní rí result. Wá máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn abúlé yẹn máa sọ pé ta ló ń pè Koikimedia. Ẹ máa béèrè pé báwo ló ṣe gbọ́ Koikimedia. But when we don't have the money to do that, print a flyer, print kankan, ṣe fìlà, ṣe everything. That's fine. Ìtẹ̀bá lè gbọ́nà lẹ máa gbọ́. Ìtẹ̀bá lè cut ẹ̀ send ẹ̀ sáwọn family yẹn. Àwa máa ṣe tá a bá lè ṣe lọ online. The offline will come when the self-determination YSDM are ready. Let's continue. Moki Yawa Cecilia, thank you so much. How do you do that? You can send it through the Naira account, 1,000 Naira each. Somebody sent 2,000 Naira. I added 1,000 to it. I sent the MTN to my people at home, the team. $1, ask for my account number, is on my website. Just send it there every day. If 12,000 of you are doing that, I would then use the one I'm going to use personally for myself, but I will use the rest and pump it back into the movement. You'll be surprised what we can do with it. But we're here every day, we're saying that, people say no. And I gave you instant of a program yesterday that 6 people were funding Boko Haram back in Nigeria to destabilize and destroy the Yoruba economy. 6 people. I was speaking to my wife, where are they getting the money from? Over 780,000 US dollars was sent by 6 people until they were captured. And they're all northerners of origin. No Igbo name, no Yoruba name. About account number, Sita, Tebatisu, our team. I think I spot one of you there. If otherwise, I'll recite it later. Let's read more from Adeyinka now. He said, since I came out from prison, I'm just doing the explanation that he noticed that the Igbo are no longer interested in the Yoruba, the Igbo nation that they are asking for. Yes, he's right to some extent, but it's also wrong because we can still see that the Biafra is still moving very strong. The Yoruba is right. Some Yoruba people left and follow Olori Buruku Duponitiri, while we all still remain loyal to the movement, and we've never derailed. Let's continue. Many former members of Ilana Omo Odua have shifted their focus away from Yoruba Nation Now campaign. I don't know what he's been smoking, but definitely, something is not right with him. I understand. Instead, a considerable number have embraced Yoruba conservativeness on social media, often directing their criticism towards the Igbo. While the YYF, this is where I want you to listen. My send in Naira account here, Mark Besita, less after this. It's important that we get 1,000 Naira, $1, €1. If you need the Zelle account, give it, I'll tell you, or musakalam1@yahoo.com. Let's make it as something. It doesn't cost you anything. But we need many of you to do that so that it becomes bulk. You don't need to give that £10 because you have a lot of other things to do. But the $1 will go a long way. And also remember, not just for myself, the movement also needs money, which is under the YSDM. But the media needs money to push things underneath the ground. And we're not using that money to buy a weapon. It's just for more leaflet. And if you can print those leaflet for us, do it. But we're not talking about small leaflet. We need a continuous, explanation of things to our people. 3 hours program, but it's good because it keeps the message alive. I slept around just after I ate my dinner, about 9 o'clock. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. I'm self-employed, so I work from home. The children are on holiday. My wife returned back to work after a couple of days off, so I'll be looking after the children. So if I go back to bed after 2 hours again, doesn't matter. Ontario, Mukinye, I'll give the account details in a minute. There's an area to make by anything because I didn't carry on so not to phone left until over you. If it's Mufeka Logongo, Sherry Bobo don't so tell you, she Yoruba nation. Let's leave that. But not if phone left France until Yario. Oti Yari Pap. My desk of phone must be. Koba me, Hema, must be. Hey, oh my guideline, little in La Rola, must be. You know, Yagbalagba. Tuba Yan don't like it must be. My dog Bonnie with that headline. Gani Adams must be for it. To share Leo. Oti Leo must be. I just love him, and I've never had the privilege to see him, one-on-one, but hopefully very soon. So let's continue. I've read that while the YYF, the Young Yoruba for Freedom, they have the right for what they are doing as well. We're not here to criticize them, but don't criticize us for saying that we've left Yoruba Nation, which some of the Biafra also says sometime, hey, where's Igboho? Where's Igboho? Kini kan pẹ̀lú Igboho? Ṣáwa la mú Nnamdi Kanu sí ẹ̀wọ̀n ni? Ṣebí Buhari ló mú lọ kidnap ẹ̀. Why YYF? Okay, no. I've read that one. Instead, a considerable number have embraced Yoruba conservativeness on social media, often directing their criticism towards the Igbo. Now, while the young Yoruba for Freedom, known as YYF, Adeyinka grandson is their president, okay, played a pivotal role in securing President Tinubu's electoral victory. I don't know why they're giving Tinubu this accolade, because Tinubu took advantage of Yoruba nation to become the president. Everybody knows that. So he probably is in the prison. He didn't know what was going on outside, and they couldn't feed him well. We now intend to mobilize against him. Did you hear that? Adeyinka grandson ni the YYF, the Young Yoruba for Freedom, are now going to mobilize against President Bola Tinubu over the next 6 months. If he fails to initiate a staged restructuring process that includes the establishment of a Yoruba regional government, this is where it becomes interesting. Mukiawa Ojo Esther, Kechi Ingwewu, shout out to you. The Young Yoruba for Freedom, under Adeyinka grandson, the president, employs all full-blooded Yoruba and those of mixed heritage, the people where he don't abuse. There are some things he put on his Twitter. I'm not going to go into that one. You know, he listed this guy. I'll leave that for another day. All those of mixed heritage who genuinely seek the advancement of the Yoruba nation to rally behind us. Let us urge President Bola Tinubu to grant us the Yoruba region, or we will actively undermine his presidency. That is a very strong word. Undermine. Go and look at the English dictionary. I will not tell you that. Adeyinka grandson, president of the YYF, former British political prisoner. That was posted 3 days ago. So we leave that and we come back to self-determination. We've done almost 2 hours. So for those of you asking for the account number, before we forget, that one is important as well. Write it down. First Bank, OLAYOMI KOIKI, 30, are we with me? 96808848. First Bank, OLAYOMI KOIKI, 30 96 80 88 48. If that is a place that you want to put that your 1,000 naira for every of my show, fine. If you want to add more, no problem. But we need at least many of you that are watching the program to help put in there. If you don't want to do the naira, you want to do the PayPal. Musa Kalam, MUSAKALAM with number 1, as in 1, at yahoo.com. And if you need a UK account, let me know. I'll give it to you. I don't think you want to put $1 for the Zelle. But if you want to do, no problem. I'll give you the details when you call me. Dizzy man say, Adeyinka grandson's son is using a negative tactics to achieve his own aim. It will be beneficial for Adeyinka grandson to focus on the positive energy and not criticize everyone, which is exactly what he has done. He has tried to bring down Babakitoye, and that is a very wrong move for him. But I just want us to know what Adeyinka grandson wrote, and that is exactly it. Website, Koiki, my brother, well done. Please don't mind that follow. All he's seeking is recognition. And he's been very proactive now on the social media. But we leave that. Let's come back to self-determination. Many people don't understand the meaning of self-determination. What command was self-determination? Key is self-determination, Koiki. What does it stand for? What is the difference between the current political dispensation in Nigeria, in Africa, West Africa, and this one tẹ́ ń sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ṣé kò ń ṣe kan náà ni ṣé ó yàtọ̀ ni ìyàtọ̀ wà. There's a difference between self-determination. Nínú self-determination àwa náà máa lè ṣe government tiwa, but the current one tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ nísìn is a political party under a country called Nigeria. Soon Odo sọ pé Adéyínká grandson an ex-convict ẹ má dá wa lálẹ́ ẹ fi Adéyínká grandson sílẹ̀ o. But it's important that we highlight what I just read. There's a difference between àwọn Igbo tó náà fẹ́ self-determination. Yes, they have their own government. Yes, we expect our governors should not be taking 20 years to fix Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Now that Tinubu is there, let's hope there will be rapid redevelopment of workers on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, because it's a very beautiful corridor that moves people out straight to the southeast, the northern part of Nigeria. But that road has been going on for 20 years. That is not acceptable. But we understand that we had a government that was there previously that was not ready to do those bids. But is Tinubu going to do those bids? Is that the reason why we should say, for Yoruba nation, because Tinubu is there? No. The reason why we want Yoruba country is because it will give back our true identity. Yes, we expect development to continue in the pace that it can take from the present administration of our state governors, our representatives. But in the long run, that is not self-determination. That is called a government run under a fraudulent democratic system. And I use the word fraudulent because you cannot run Nigeria with the fraudulent, most biased constitution. Mokiba Baba Adeyemi Olayemi, Mokiyami Olushola Adepoju, and all the silent listeners that are followers of Duponitiri. Because I know you're under the program with either fake name or quietly, because to have a comment there, I'll pick you up. But we're not fighting you as an individual. We have problem with that 419 woman to support to declare Yoruba nation in 2022. We alone can declare Yoruba nation in 2022. And I know a lot of you like to go and listen to Ijile because it's giving you that hope that they are bringing an interim government. Ijile is just doing what I called an awareness of Yoruba nation. Nothing less, nothing more. It does not matter how many of their team goes around Ibadan. I've seen the videos. I watch Ijile when he's doing their live through the Zoom. Adelembo, Iyawa Moa, Ongba Delebo. All that is not visibly going to work. Okay? I know the diaspora, we are all eager to have our nation. We're eager to me. If she declared that country as she said she did, with guns on the street protecting Yoruba people, with them, I said, well, okay. But she declared a country where Nigeria is still operating, and everybody knows that. You go to Nigeria, they're operating everything under the policy of APC, which Tinubu is in charge. I am just talking to especially you, the diaspora. And don't expect people like us to support that nonsense, because it's a total nonsense. It is not realistic. What it United Nations, what it declare, declare, devil lawani because awala leshu. Mama boy issue, man koba mi boy issue at Ogun. So I'm not gonna use that as an adjective to the conversation. So if you're one of those listening to Dupo Nitiri, you gotta be very careful, because you might run mental very soon, because that expectation, you will not get it. Self-determination under United Nations or UN Charter is called. under international law. What does it mean? What does self-determination mean under international law? There are many arguments of what does the UN says nípa self-determination. Kí ni UN gangan sọ? And as Mrs. Oluremi Kilanko or Gabi said, it is even good now that a name, I mean Dupe Onitiri Abiola name, is out in the public domain. Some of the people that are joining us or probably might not know what this person is. We understand you don't know it's because she's irrelevant, but she's there proclaiming that she has declared Yoruba Nation as a country in 2022. And her argument is that she's on her way bringing the interim or the interim government called Adele to Ibadan very soon. Now, I am not wasting my time on Dupe Onitiri. It is important that I am a journalist, and it's important we continue to highlight it. It is not wasting my time. I haven't sit here in 2 hours talking about Dupe Onitiri. Please let us continue to highlight it. It's not a waste of time. It is just to say to those that are in that denial, you might as well just say, hey, they were interested in Yoruba Nation. That does not mean that when we get to where we are going, you will not be classified as a Yoruba citizen. So it's not a waste of time. It's just to highlight it. The reason why we sit here is to explain things to people. We can argue, we can disagree. But on Dupe Onitiri, I am telling you again, it is all illusion. Nothing like a country called Yoruba Nation as the world stands today. The United Nations Charter on Resolutions, Chapter 1, Article 1, Part 2 states that purpose of the United Nations Charter is to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, and to take other appropriate measures to strengthen universal place. We know that United Nations was formed for a purpose. It is not literally serving the purpose today in the world that we are living. It's a very biased organization. If you're one of those that think that United Nations will solve the current problem in Nigeria, you'll be living in denial. It will not. United Nations is there to settle amicably problems between countries and countries. United Nations is not designed to give you a country. But there are some charter that says that you have the right to have your own country. But it doesn't give you the right to say that United Nations would declare a country on your behalf. Nowhere does it say in their charter that United Nations would declare a country. So the Biafra can present their case to the United Nations and state all the reasons in the world under article that indicate that they have the right. What is the right? To form a country, you must first indicate that you have the land, and your land is not encroached with other people. As an example, Biafra will not claim Yoruba land, even as some of us are very concerned that it seems that Simon Ekpa Biafra, they're claiming part of our land. They cannot, because everybody has their land. That will be called a dispute that can be resolved, whether today or in the near future, if they tend to do so. So, but presently, there's a particular region, and Biafra cannot force any other state. Moria Kentos, thank you so much, my very good sister. Ebanki, and daddy no. Ajama Wogba. And we appreciate all the Ifelodun. And Ifelodun is a particular group established, and I use the word put together by Babawa Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. Do not mix the word. Whatever I say is exactly what it is. I am the spokesman of Igboho. Because I've had people say Ifelodun was not created by Igboho. Igboho created Ifelodun because that was what his father, before the father died, used to use when he had his own group, Ifelodun. And you can be part of it. And they're already, plus some other individuals, committees, preparing for the visitation of Igboho. We'll be updating you as time comes. We don't have a date yet when Igboho will be coming to UK officially. But Ifelodun and many other groups are working towards it. And I speak on what Igboho wants me to say on that. If you're not comfortable with that, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do. I am still his official. And I know you will go back and still want to question him. He will tell me, but I will not tell you. Because I speak here, you go back and say, hey, Agbati Koiki sọ̀rọ̀ social media. Bomb bastard. So, ṣé mo jẹ́ ọmọ kékeré? Tí Rishi Sunak bá ní kó release press statement, listen, do you doubt it? I am older than Rishi Sunak. He's just lucky and privileged that he was born in a country that gave him the opportunity. We were all born in a country that never gave us opportunity. That is why we run all over the place around the world. 15 years, I say it, before I was given the right officially to live in this country. Do you know what that means? I would have set up multiple businesses in Yoruba land if the land was working for us. Idiot all over the place. So let's come back to self-determination. And I listened to Simon Ekpa yesterday, like I said. They will be presenting their case to United Nations. United Nations is not going to give them country. United Nations will look into their case and it will say, okay, are you encroaching other people's land? Do you have the total numbers? Do you have the language? How does a country, I want to put something out now in a minute. There are basic things that you need to know before you can create a country. And I'm going now from an article. I hope this article is still there. How to create your own country, a beginner's guide. Because anything argue with Keke Okos Moke, that you cannot have a country of your own, Koiki. It's not possible. We are in Nigeria. We got to fix Nigeria. We got to make Nigeria work. You are stupid. And I use the word very, very stupid. Because nothing was known as Nigeria until a certain year. And we must take it back to what it used to be, which is exactly what we are doing now, without violence. But the tendency that it can become violent is there. There is history that has shown us. Yugoslavia president, as at the time, refused to accept that Yugoslavia was due to be dissolved. There was bloodshed. Slobodan Milosevic, the then president or prime minister of Yugoslavia, eventually was captured, taken into the ICC. He died along the line. Maybe he should have just accepted Yugoslavia to break up without a single bullet, but he refused. Today, Yugoslavia eventually break. Tinubu will not hold the people back, neither our corrupt politicians. They can try to destabilize the movement, but they cannot stop the movement. It's a fact, because history will repeat itself just like Yugoslavia. But we can also go the other route, which is the Soviet Union. In 1990, people wanted to go. Gorbachev, the then leader of Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, Mokiawa Iyabo Olobumi, Otojo Metama, Kenny Oluwole Johnson, and many of you that have joined us, whether your name was mentioned or not. That eventually collapsed, but there was no gunshot. Everybody dissolved, and everybody is happy. So Tinubu has the option, but we would not sit back when we should preserve the Yoruba identity against the fraudulent country you call Nigeria. We will print our passports. We will have our currency. We will run our own economy. We will think our own first before any other person. The reason why the English people are very uncomfortable with many of us today is because they believe that we become a body. But what I do not understand, and I believe, because each time we're doing a program like this, and you look at the camera, you can see that my lips is very dry. I don't know where my lip balm is. Okay, somewhere around there. It's good to keep it moisture than to keep it dry, because that way it doesn't get peel. That's the reason why I just use it. So, ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ní àfẹ́ Yorùbá nation no ṣáwọn Tinubu náà ló máa ṣe no, okay. They will still be in the country if Nigeria breaks, all your politicians, but they will not have the same privilege. Everything will be on a start new season. Mokia easy, how to create your own country, a beginner's guide. This article was 4 years ago on the Guardian newspaper UK. From a national flag to sporting heroes, what breakaway Bongaville need to become the world's newest state? So whatever I'm reading today, some of it might be reflecting to how the Igbos, the Biafra, the Arewas, the Middle Belt, and the Yorubas. And don't come and say, Koiki, what about these smaller countries or smaller states? How are we going to deal with it? Because we have many multiple indigenous ethnic people within the contraction put together. Everyone has the right to either be with one or stand on their own. Nigeria will come out with more than 10 countries. It is not going to be the end of the world. And the world is not going to collapse. Mukiawa Oluwafunkayola Agbola Ikaboma. Bamdele Mohammed. The world, Ilé ayé ò ní sọ̀kalẹ̀ tí Nigeria bá máa pín. The only thing is it could be bloody or it could be non-violent. Let's go further. Bougainville has voted overwhelmingly for independence from Papua New Guinea. Alibaba Rasika, thank you so much. Love you too. But what happens next when you want to become an independent state, independent country? What do you do to become a new country? Kentos Mokele Nkonsi, Abebi, Ajama Wogba. And if you need anything African, check Kentos out in Manchester. I'll be telling you more about her in the coming days. And I can say, we don't advertise, but she is different. They are full-on Yoruba campaigners, quietly, spending money on a lot. And if you're also one of those, and I can say, I can vouch for you, but I can't vouch for people in Nigeria, I'm sorry, because I can't verify your businesses, okay? I don't want any problem. So, please don't bring it to me, because all that is problem. It is only in Nigeria people buy land, and in another 1 year, that land does not belong to you. Safety domain, thank you so much. If Nigeria breaks today, Yoruba nation will be bigger than 47 African countries in population. I totally agree. Now, who needs to recognize you as an independent country? And we need a couple of countries from the United Nations members. As long as they recognize us, even if UN does not recognize us yet, which Taiwan is not recognized as a country, but they are very powerful. As of today, the 8th day of the month of April, I think I'm about to change within some hours. And I hope I'm right with it. I want to know if people also agree with me. Taiwan is not yet officially under United Nations because why? China continues to veto it. China believes that they own Taiwan. And Taiwan is already doing very well. So even if we declare Yoruba nation, but it has to be with 60,000 brand new AK-47 to protect and defend the territory from the invaders. If United Nations does not accept, as long as certain countries accept, we start running our operation as a country. If the Nigerian military comes, we will defend. If they kill us, we will attack them back. We have the right under international law to fight back and save the lives of our people. That is not violent. That is under international law. But when you don't have the guns to do such right now, then you can create uncertain things that will make the government uncomfortable to react. And that will force international community to come into your rescue. I'm talking about Taba needs 60,000 weapons. So anything like Yoruba nation, it's two ways. You don't have the guns, then you must be prepared for things that will make your government react. And that reaction will force international community to come through. Yesterday, when you listen to my program, and you got to be listening to my program in details, a woman wrote in a comment in one of the videos we played that in 1967, the American government came to rescue her with an helicopter. America is not going to give you a country. They will rescue their citizens first. Then they will be talking about how to bring peace between you and the government. That is where negotiation will still come back. So why do we then need to kill each other and force ourselves into that situation when Tinubu can call Baba Akintoye and say, Yoruba Filo, let them go. But Tinubu is not doing that because Tinubu is doing the bidding of a one Nigeria. And we're not going to sit back and wait for that nonsense because Tinubu is old. I pray for long life, but he will not be alive for another 100 years. It's a fact. He will be dead. But Yoruba people and Yoruba will still exist. So why should we then sacrifice because of one man that is the president that does not represent Yoruba people? Idiot. Abomakwe Tinubu Maku after 100 years. I give him 100 years more to his age. But Yoruba has been existing 13,000 years before Tinubu was born. Born bastard. Idiot all over the place. I love Tinubu. I don't have any problem with him. But we are saying that Tinubu is not bigger than Yoruba people. How is that difficult for you to understand? So we got to sacrifice our life because Tinubu is in power. You are idiot. And if you tell me not to stop cursing, I'll curse your own father as well. Bomb bastard. Who needs to recognize you as an independent country? With a question mark. There isn't a simple step-by-step guide in the law to creating a country. You can do anything. That is why the Biafra have set up the government in exile. Do we need to do the same thing? No. Do we need to go the same route? No. They are running their own race. We are running our own. There isn't any simple step-by-step guide. It's not like you give your wife to go and buy pomo and moimo and prepare a day icon for you. You cannot buy freedom from Tesco or Costco or Walmart. You cannot buy the freedom from ShopRite. But you can tell people in the ShopRite that their life will be much better in an economy that works, that where value is there for workers. There's no value in working in Nigeria today. Come and tell me that I'm lying. Whether it's a private sector, it's a public sector, none of them respect workers. And if you're waiting for all these Nigerian Labour Congress, they are bomb bastard. Tinubu has bribed every single one of them. Thank you so much for the super chat, Peter Pan. We must fight for the freedom of feel the future. And we will not sit back and feel the future. There is no law to creating a country, but the right to the self-determination of the people is recognized in the Charter of the United Nations. To guide pé ọ̀nà báyìí ló máa fi gba country. And don't come and tell me, hey, she being getting to put it in China, you're a bomb bastard. She is not doing Yoruba nation. She's a manipulative woman. And don't come and plead on her behalf. Anytime you pay me recently, Mr. Koiki, I know you are bidding on behalf of Duke Bonitiri. Orí yóò pè àtàgbàlagbà yín àtọmọdé yín ẹ ṣìírí. Ṣé ẹ̀yin jókòó pẹ̀lú ẹ̀rí ó ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé ìgbà tẹ́mi bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé mo dà nǹkan sójú báyìí. Dúpọ̀ Onítìrì ló máa ń dà nǹkan sójú tó bá ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Short woman devil, olóṣì woman, kò ní kú síbi táṣọ ẹ̀ wà. Ògbẹ́n tẹ̀lé ń support ẹ̀, ó kù sí yín lọ́wọ́. Ọlọ́run àìkẹ́lómi ní àtàtàkì nù yín. Let's come back. Kò sí òfin kankan tó sọ pé ọ̀nà báyìí la máa fi gbà. But òfin wà lábẹ́ ìtàn pè ní self-determination. And stop listening to that idiot man called Abati. Hey, all these Sunday Igboho children that are fighting on social media, calling for Yoruba nation, they are, kí ló tẹ̀ máa ń pè wá náà? They are, òyìnbó fòólù máa ń lò. We are not terrorists. There's another word I always use. I can't remember now. Self-determination. Should I spell it? S for sugar. E for egg. Ẹyin. L for London. F for football. Football. Self. Then determination. D. Yeah, it calls us secession. Kò ní dá fún níbi tó bá wà. We are not secessionists. We are self-determination. And that's what I'm spelling now. D, o lè ní dòdò, or D for dog. E for egg. T for table. E again for egg. R for rabbit. M for mother. I for ink. N for nation. A for apple. T, table. I, indigo. O, awesome, orange. N, nation, self-determination. We are not secessionists. Any media in Nigeria that call us secessionists, any shoriri oguma wole panyini, bomb bastard, calling us secessionists. There's terrorists all over in Nigeria, you're calling them bandits, and you will call people that are self-determination under the right of the United Nations secessionists. Any shoriri, brown envelope journalists. They don't have the balls. Corrupt people all over the place. Come back to the program. Who needs to recognize you as an independent country? There isn't any step-by-step guide in the law to creating a country. Kò sí òfin kankan ní àgbáyé, nílé ayé tó sọ pé ọ̀nà báyìí lẹ máa fi gbà. If it's violent, it's violent. If it's negotiation, it's negotiation. If you force the government to speak to you, why not? That's my wife. And it's coming up to 4 o'clock in the morning in London. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti jẹ sàárì o. Ẹ dìde jẹ sàárì o. Ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì máa ń lo aago lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà. Ẹ dìde kó jẹ sàárì. Let's come back now. After we know that there is no law in creating a country, Peter Pan, Odudu Jumiwa, and if you want to give us super chat, you can give it to us on Koikimedia. If you go to the backup channel, you can do so. You just have to find it, you know. I'm sure some of you know where the backup channel YouTube is. Easy Moriembe, or not in Jutiawa. Babag Balagba. Self-determination of the people is recognized in the Charter of the United Nations. A territory becomes a sovereign state when it is independent and is recognized by the United Nations. We pray that United Nations will recognize us when that time comes. Dupont-Nitiri has not been recognized by United Nations. If you're one of those believing that nonsense, you are all sleeping in a different world. Okay? Because that is all the lies that they cooked. That usually means that whoever the territory used to legally belong to has agreed or been forced to agree that it is no longer theirs. This is where it becomes interesting. Where did we negotiate Nigeria? Ṣáwọn òyìnbó ló ní Nigeria? No. Who owns Nigeria? The Yoruba people owns it. The Yoruba people owns it. Awalani. The Northerner does not own Yoruba land. The Igbo does not own Yoruba land. Yoruba land belongs to Yoruba people. And we can decide whatever we want it. And what we want on it is now what we call self-determination. And that will be respected by every of our politicians. If not, there will be fire coming on every single one of you in the near future. Fire, F-I-R-E, fire gidi will come on every single one of you. If you like, buy more bullets, buy more guns. When that time comes, those guns will be used back on you. Fire, I said. Don't listen to us now. Continue to say, you cannot do anything. When that time comes, it will be bigger than the NSAS. And the time is getting closer because you are already frustrating Yoruba people that are ready to go. The territory. What is the territory? Nigeria is somewhere around there. Nigeria. The creation was just less than 110 years old. But that territory, Kilongpeni territory, spelled Territory. Territory stands for Ile. Awalani Lenye. The territory. So when people say Koiki, Chitabagba Yoruba Nation, Ile tí mo kọ́ yẹn ṣá máa move kúrò, no. Everything that needs to change will be the name. The name Nigeria will no longer be forced on the indigenous people. We will call it Oduduwa Republic, Yoruba Kingdom, Yoruba, whatever we prefer to call it. We're just calling it Yoruba Nation now, but that might not be the end name for it. So, do you go and claim Kano and say it's your territory? Is it possible? Is it possible? I'm asking us questions, and I believe we are not AI yet. We are human beings listening to me. Can we go and claim Kano and call it Yoruba Nation? Can we go and claim Southeast? Can we go and claim Anambra? We are not claiming those parts. We are literally claiming our own territory, which is Southwest, which is what called the Western region before all the fraudsters created what they call 36 states. So when people are saying, oh, ni right lati masoko for Yoruba country, you are idiot, because the territory belongs to us, as it is stated here. You must have the territory. If you don't have territory, you cannot say you want a country. That is the first key to ask for a country, a nation. Does that mean that it links to the fraudulent democratic currently in Nigeria? No. Nigeria is a formation of British system that wanted to be the way they wanted it to be. But that territory belongs to us. And until we pull out from that union called Nigeria, the territory will still remain, but we will not be using the word Nigeria anymore. That is what we are saying. And we can then start flourishing. You will just not stop. You won't be using Nigerian currency. You will not be using Nigerian flag. You will not be using Nigerian details anymore. Every organization within the Southwest will automatically change their name into the country that we create. And don't come and tell me, Shall you create Nigeria by? At least we are not terrorists that is putting gun in your anus and blow it away. We are not terrorists that is asking 60 million naira from your family. Idiots. And thank you so much, Mrs. Oluremi Agabi, for the super chat. Mrs. Adenike says, we can have a Nigeria where all nation is free. We will have Yoruba nation, Biafra, Arewa, and minority have a country too, under one name, United Nation of Nigeria, just like the UK system. We don't want anything to do with Nigeria, ma. Nothing to do with that brand called Nigeria. If anybody wants to be in Nigeria, they can take that to another part. Nigeria is not spiritually good for us. It has taken what we want, and we are going to get what belongs to us back. Either by violence, by chaos, people will die, some will survive. That is how UK have existed. It was all about theft. Go and ask Church of England why they invested in slave trade. Idiots. Now we understand territory. Since that they understand territory, the question then is, do we have the people? Who are the people? Àwọn atajọ́ ń sọ èdè kan náà. Ṣé mò ń sọ èdè kan náà pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò? Ṣé òun sọ èdè? Tó bá gbọ́ Ìgbò yàtọ̀ sí pé ṣé gbogbo wa la ń sọ èdè kan náà pẹ̀lú wọn? Yes, some of you are so intelligent, you can speak 10 different, 50 languages in Nigeria, because we know that Nigeria has nothing less than 350 different languages. That does not mean that the Yorubas that speak different Yoruba in Ekiti, Ijebu, we are still one formation. So let's go further. Now that we understand the territory, along with recognition, you need the basic building blocks of statehood. What are the building blocks? What is united about Nigeria? I want to go. Most of you I did a program about it. Only mommy why not United Nigeria. United Nigeria. It is too late for anything called United Nigeria. It's a fraud. Name it 5 can get it. Where are we? Along with recognition, you need the basic building blocks of statehood, a constitution. Well, those that doesn't support break will eventually be forced into it. It's as simple as that. Because we will not sit back and continue in the contraction known as Nigeria. So people that say, I want to tell Tiwa Labashele, attend tell gbogbo alama nígbà yẹn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé wà lọ́ọ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láì gbélé ta a ṣe ń bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọlúàbí ni tó bá ti di M1 that word gbòs, which will eventually happen if care is not taken. Because those that have not been given the opportunity to understand what we are saying is because the NBC does not want my message to filter back into Nigeria as much as possible. We need a sovereign, independent Yoruba nation where we can choose to speak Yoruba in all our institutions and have a constitution that is written in Yoruba, well understood by every sons and daughters of Yoruba. We will still speak English, but that will be a second-class language, just like it is spoken in Turkey. I have been to Turkey. You do not speak English. They speak in their own language, but they translate it to Turkey, even from their airline, Turkish airline. United Nigeria. What is Nigeria? Ilewuni Nigeria ni. Along with recognition, you need the basic building blocks of statehood. There was a proposed constitution that was written by some group of Yoruba people, is on my website. You would then need a head of state, then a government. So can we now say that this is not the same, Belu, the current dispensation? What you have right now in Nigeria is a democratic system operating under a fraudulent constitution, under a fraudulent union. That is not a nation, because Nigeria is not a nation. And let anybody come and argue with us that Nigeria is a nation. Nigeria is not a nation because we have multiple numbers of countries inside that entity block. And until we break away, we will be free. If you don't break away, you can never be free. If you like, go to anywhere, you will not survive with that brand. And it was created after the Second World War. Now, you would also need some kind of diplomatic service in place in order to have relations with the other state. So at some point, the YSDM will start building what they call diplomatic ready. Because about to declare Yoruba nation, we must start having relationship with countries around the world. We'll be sending them messages. We'll be telling them who we are, even though they are doing that now quietly underneath. Yami Cecilia, and people supporting Nigeria, what is the language of Nigeria? English. English is not our language. And thanks so much. We've been brainwashed for a very long time. I understand the feelings that people have when they say, hey, let me go for a break. let's save Nigeria. No, we are not saving Nigeria anymore. Nigeria is dead. Spiritually, physically, it is dead. And like I said, go into your spiritualness, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're Hindu, you're a Buddhist, you're a Babalawo, and ask the God that you serve to give you the message if anything exists for Nigeria anymore. I don't know when it's going to finally collapse. It could be bloody and it could not. It depends. I don't know. But already, blood is overshadowing the cloud of Nigeria. And it's going to be much more than the NSAS. If we do not listen to each other, it will be worse before it gets better. It could take 2 years or less than that. I don't know if everything goes bust. And continue to say, you cannot do anything. The Nigerian soldier will do you all nonsense. Okay, I'll leave that under my stomach. Bí a Nigerian soldier ló nílẹ̀ wa ni, bí àwa la nílẹ̀ ni, tásìkò yẹn bá tó, àmọ́. Let's come back. You will also need some kind of diplomatic service. Mokia just reason. And you end up saying to Mrs. Adenike that break Nigeria is to save lives. Even Nigeria is not supported by everybody. And while there are other 22 countries that do not have them, Andorra, Liechtenstein, Samoa among them, you would almost certainly want some kind of armed forces to defend your new borders. Did you see why I say that? Declaring Yoruba nation is the most easiest thing. We come up now, we say we have now declared Yoruba nation. Do you know what happened to East Timor when they did that? Indonesian government went in after 1 week and massacred many people. Then they went back and reinforced, get more bullets, get more guns, more strategy, and they fight back Indonesian government for 30 years. In 2002, May precisely, East Timor became an independent country. Far better than the Shito country passport that you carry, because if you have an East Timor passport, and I'm not joking, it allows you to get into the UK 180 days. With the Shito Commonwealth that you have been told, as a Nigerian, you are not given a visa. Most of you will sell all your properties and wealth to get a COS to get to UK. Continue to believe that we are Commonwealth citizen. It means nothing. It's just another fraud. So don't be deceived by the word Commonwealth. That is what the Royal Empire wants you to believe. If we are Commonwealth, most of us that have lived here, when we arrive, should have been respected and valued than many other countries that are not Commonwealth. But yet, some of us have to fight to live here. And some people are still fighting to live here. There's some people that we just need to take out from the broadcast. They are Troys. Depending on the situation, the United Nations, look, let me expand that very well before I move away from there. You will almost certainly want some kind of armed forces. You think the Biafra are stupid, that they are buying guns and they are preparing. Simon Ekpa said they will declare in December 2nd. He has given a date. That means they need more money to buy more guns and weapons. Weapons that can defend their borders. Because the day they make that, if that date is still sure for them, it's just about to declare they must put a full military force outside because the Nigerian government will attack them back. And they're not going to attack them with stake and tear gas. They will attack them with every ammunition within the disposal of Bola Tinubu, because he's the president. He will give the order. So whatever the Biafra are doing today with their Biafra Liberation Army, They need more to equip them. That is why they are raising money. And under international law, they have the right to defend themselves, because under international law, they own the territory. Under international law, they have the right under the United Nations Charter to ask for self-determination. It's the Nigerian government that doesn't want to talk to them, and it's entirely up to the Nigerian government to prepare. So if you think that chaos is not coming into Nigeria, it is just around lumping, and everybody knows that. But we live in denial. We are not truthful to each other. Everybody knows the end game. The Sioux country needs to come down. It must collapse so that the world have a new world order, which is Biafra, Arewa, Yoruba, and any other countries that are going to come out from Nigeria. No economics can fix Nigeria. No economics. Don't consume anything that has expired. You will have diarrhea. You might likely die. Many of you continue. There might be no come into the program. We have to take them out. You know, come up with pineapple, bomb bastard. And this is why I say to us, give us 60,000 weapons, brand new. And I will tell Babakitoye to go ahead and make that declaration. But I will not be stupid to force him to make a declaration when we don't have the armed forces to defend our borders. Oh, you think that when you declare Nigerian military will come and defend your borders? They are coming to attack and kill you. And they'll kill every single one of us. Because Tinubu will give the orders under the Sultan of Sokoto because of their love to keep us together in a country that wants to Islamize, in a country where terrorists continue to be operating with impunity, in a country where monopoly has been played by the Northerners against the South. Idiot all over the place. Most of you are educated to know what I'm talking about. But because of your selfishness, you don't want to speak out. Many people die to cross the Ordos. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Britain killed many people to survive today. Go and ask people where their family and yours were taken as slaves. Britain was part and parcel of the slave trade. That means people die for them to survive. People would die for the Yoruba people to cross over. Don't be scared of that. It is just what it is. Israel have killed 40,000 innocent people in Palestine. America has not stopped them. The world is an evil, crazy place. Britain continued to sell weapons to Israel that is used to kill innocent people. Idiot all over the place. Don't come and tell me to shut up. People will die before we survive. We just pray that it will be those that are against the reason why we want to go. Bastard. Why are you scared of guns? When Britain continued to sell weapons to Israel to kill innocent people in Palestine, 40,000 people have died so far. Children, women, that has nothing to do with what is going on. So don't come here and tell me nonsense. Open your mind. The future is ready. It is entirely up to us to take it now, or we become slaves for the rest of our lives. Hey, shut up. Stop talking about that. Go and ask why 40,000 people must be died. Because of what? Olóṣèlú mo ti lé ẹ níbẹ̀ yẹn tó ti wá síbí báyìí, bomb bastard, olórí burúkú. Bí ṣe lé níbí báyìí tó ti wá síbẹ̀ yẹn. So open your mind. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká lọ, ẹ̀yin lẹ máa kú. Torí ẹ̀yin lẹ ń dá sùúrùtù sílẹ̀. lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà just because intẹ́yìn rí jẹ nísìn àti agbèrò àti politician àtẹni tó oppress ara wọn. Ká gbalẹ̀ wa kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn olórí burúkú tó di gbogbo ẹ̀ mú. Wọ́n gbé gold jáde. I won't tell you the state, like I said. Weekly by the CBN. Nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ti ń gbé gold yẹn jáde. Wọ́n ń gbé lọ síta. Ìwọ jókòó síbi bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ jágbajàgba. When we plan, we don't give you that on the social media. I am just preparing your mind. So I'm not Kunle Afolayan making a movie. If you want a movie, go to Netflix and watch some of the movies that I've told you in the last couple of days. Everybody must open their mind and say that whatever tó bá fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ni kó ṣẹlẹ̀. But don't think that we're coming here and give strategy. Ọ̀nà báyìí la máa gbà, nǹkan báyìí la máa ṣe. I've been very understanding now that wọ́n ní kò ṣe gbogbo aṣọ là ń sá lóòrùn. Let's continue. You would almost certainly want some kind of armed forces. You can lobby with countries that are ready to be loyal to you. Those countries will not tell you they will work with you for me to come and tell you, even if I know. Elite is a kind of support you out. Torí kíni, torí mo fẹ́ ṣe program. So mo ti sọ dé àwàdà káríkẹ́rì nìyẹn, ó ti di bàbá sùwé nìyẹn. Even if I have all the inside background, it is not something. Ṣé gbogbo tó ń ta American ṣe ló ń sọ fún mi? Ṣé gbogbo tó ń ta American ṣe ló ń sọ fún mi? Ṣé gbogbo tí UK ṣe ló ń sọ fún mi? From their security. Are they telling us as their strategy? No. You will only come and see the results. Do you know how many soldiers are fighting against Russia by all this Western power? You think they'll tell you, Ukraine, Sarani. But there are some of their specialists that are fighting there. So don't come and think that you will sit on this platform and you'll be hearing Yoruba nation. Even if I know, I will not tell you. But I am just preparing your mind for the reality, because you will not hear this from Channels Television and TVC and NTA. Depending on the situation, and we are almost coming to the end of the program, it will not go more than 3 hours. I have just 15 minutes to go. Depending on the situation, the United Nations may be much more involved in the process than simply recognizing the end result. I talk about Timor-Leste, which is called East Timor. After years of conflict, which is what we are avoiding now, there is no conflict in Nigeria, even though there is terrorism affecting us. But there is no conflict between us and the federal government. When it gets to that stage, we will still all be forced to come back on the round table and discuss how we leave Nigeria. When that happens, surely what only British passport, you will not be able to go to Nigeria because the airport will not be able to operate. No airline will travel to Nigeria when there is firepower on the ground. All aircraft will be diverted to Ghana and Benin Republic. You will then find your way back into Nigeria. So anything like you will not travel through any airline, because no airline take the risk and move their aircraft to where there is a danger. On board. To bá rò pé kò ní dé, ó ń bọ̀ tí àwọn olórí burúkú politicians yìí tó rò pé àwọn làwọn láyé, àwọn Elédùmarè gbàgbára fún. Irọ́ ni o, Elédùmarè gbàgbára wọn. Àwa èèyàn báyìí bí tiwa náà ló gbé agbára fún. Gbogbo wa pátá là ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa nísìn. Ẹ máa ṣe bí tẹ́ẹ̀rí wa. Ẹ máa ṣe wedding fáwọn ọmọ yín Sanwó-Olú. Ẹ máa lọ sí party. Ẹ máa ṣàṣàlátù. Ẹ máa lọ church. Tó bá yá gbogbo yẹn will be a full stop for the first 2 years. As we're bringing the program to an end, depending on the situation, the United Nations may be much more involved. United Nations will be involved to bati di gbas goes. Not involved now because kò tí sí gbas goes. A kò ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí. Níjọ́ tí gbas goes bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láàrin ìyàn méjì, United Nations máa ní àwọn olóńjà níbẹ̀ yẹn. ṣèbí tẹ́yìn náà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa ń rí táwọn èèyàn méjì bá ń jà tó bá di pé ó fẹ́ nà kan pa tán kọ́ nìkan lè máa kó pa lè máa dá sí. I've witnessed a lot of fights in Lagos Island. Nígbà tó bá ti gun tán lọ́mọ ní ọba máa kó gun ogun wọn rí nígbà tó ń jà o wọ́n kì í lájà. Wicked people until somebody get killed or stabbed. That is when people get involved. After years of conflict, lẹ́yìn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún tí ìjà wà, an example was Timor-Leste was under United Nations protection. Tí Nàìjíríà under Tinubu bá lo gbogbo agbára ẹ̀ lé Biafra àti Yoruba nígbà tásìkò yẹn bá tó, United Nations would then activate what they called United Nations protection. They will bring their own United Nations military force into the southwest and protect until there is a negotiation on the final exit. Why do we need to go through that route when we can do it amicably? But olóṣì làwọn olóṣì olórí burúkú ni politician yìí àtọbìnrin wọn àtọkùnrin wọn, they are all born bastard. Ìkà ni wọ́n. Gbogbo yín dẹ̀ lè máa jẹ gbà. Because if that happen where it becomes bloody, we will hold every single one of you accountable. Even if you tó bá ti kú, a máa lọ wú òkú ẹ̀ jáde. Because we are telling you now that we don't have to go through that route. Ẹ ṣe bí tẹ́ gbọ́, ẹ jókòó sí ní House of Assembly yín. When the fire drops, you will not sit in that House of Assembly. It will be blocked. Nobody will move out, in and out of those House of Assembly in Southwest. I promise you that. It's just a matter of time. It might not happen today, next year, but it will definitely happen because it will happen. We own the territory. So the Timor-Leste was given a United Nations protection when the international body organized what they called the 1999 independent referendum. But before they got referendum, it was years of conflict. I will tell you how many years. 30 years, from 1970 up to 1999. But they are free today, representing who they are, having their own true identity. Because Indonesia fi force around lay ìlú tí kò ń ṣe tiẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. So they are free people. You are not free. I am not free. But when it could be American passport, Canada passport, Japan passport, it doesn't matter. Nigerian passport, we are not free. We are slaves inside Nigeria because that is not our true identity. And until we pull out, then we will be free. The same way the British created the slave trade route, the Portugal, the Spanish. For thousands of years, they were moving millions of Africans for slave. We are still doing the same thing in 21st century. The only difference now is you are paying for that services yourself, selling your property to come outside Nigeria. As of yesterday, calls were still on my desk. People that arrive here that needs to renew their COS, and they are very, very concerned because things did not work out after 1 year. They've spent millions of naira to arrive in this country. As at yesterday, find your way here. You'll find me here to help you if I can. How will you present yourself to the rest of the world? As we are now 9 minutes to the end of the program. How will you present yourself? You would need a flag, a national anthem. If an area has had a long-standing independent movement like the Catalonia or the Basque region, it is likely you will already have this symbol in place, ready to deploy. We understand that some of you do not agree with the flag we have now. All that can be changed overnight. It's just that we decide what we want. Pineapple, whatever, it does not matter. Whatever we are using right now, don't get so fake about it. Koiki orí olókun yẹn ló máa ń freak me out. But you can use Facebook. Do you know who is running Facebook? Whether it's Hindu, Buddhist, you don't know. You don't care, is it? How many of your data are being collected by people that doesn't even align with your religion? You don't care. But you are more freaked out with Oriolokun. I understand. That is what the Oyibo people have done to our psyche. Hate what belongs to you, but when your children go out and do Halloween, there's nothing wrong. You even buy them costume. Because Halloween is okay, it's cool. Because MBS, Fox, Sky, BBC, they present it to you in a way that you accept. You will need a flag. We have our national anthem ready to go, which nobody is doubting that. At least they are reciting it in all the states, at least Ondo State, and we give thanks to the late Akeredolu. So I need to argue lórí yẹn. You don't always have to be you don't always have to be that creative. When Uzbekistan became independent in 1991, Abdullahi Oripo simply wrote new lyrics for the tune of the Soviet-era Uzbekistan anthem. We already have our anthem. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, forílẹ̀ ibi wa, kágbéga, kágbéga, kágbéga falérí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé báti bẹ̀rù lábọ́ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Think that all your influencers on social media can stop this. None of them can stop the movement. If they like, let them continue to propagate that shit old country called Nigeria. Come and vote in 2027. Vote your ass. Pump bastard. Confusing the minds of people that should focus on who they are. Yoruba nimi. Think Yoruba first. Nigeria is a British created business enterprise. That is why they value Oyibo people. My mom doesn't like me to call them white people. She always get a little bit, like, no. Just leave it as Oyibo people. So Tiban Sop Oyibo, I call them Oyibo. And some of them are not Oyibo people when you see them in Nigeria. Awalada Oyibo Gidimo. An Eastern European come to Nigeria. Most of the workers, the Chinese workers, they are prisoners. And I'm not making this up. Most of the companies that are operating as Chinese companies in Nigeria, they are bringing free slave Chinese prisoners to come and work on the ground. Thank you so much, Kekelus. It is like differentiating GMO and organic food. It is too straight apart. It can't compare. And if you don't know GMO, I want to have an injection. I want chicken to yẹ kó tó bá jẹ báwa máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ṣé chicken ló jẹ compared to chicken to yẹ kó ti jẹ oríṣiríṣi nílẹ̀ẹ́lẹ̀ tó bá pa báyìí wọ́n gan wá rí pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó jáde lára ó fresh. We are just 4 minutes to the end of the program. Thanks so much for everyone that have joined us in the early hours of this morning. South Sudan even had an X Factor style talent show to pick his anthem. Do you understand that? Ultimately, choosing students from Juba University with South Sudan, Oyi, our anthem, we can just decide what flag that we want. I am not forcing Orioloko on us. We will all decide. When do you get your moment on the world sporting stage? Nígbà tá a bá gba Yorùbá nation, nígbà wo ni àwọn àgbáyé táwa náà máa lọ máa ṣe sport? Hey, Koiki, I love Nigeria because I'm a sport man. but you are competing with Igbo, Hausa to become that part of the sports team. Ewa lon shogun. Even got that. That's why most of you couldn't get into the football team. Sasiranyi be weary. We will have a Yoruba Premier League. We will compete around the world in our own sport. Don't you know that it's even going to open more space for us? You want to become a footballer in the Nigerian FA. Some of you have to do a lot of shitty things. You will not need that anymore because a Yoruba country will have its own independent football team, which will be only for Yoruba people only. We don't need to go and bring a Hausa man inside it. We don't need to go and bring another Igbo. No. And that also replicates to every part of any other sport. Go and look at some of my YouTube page, the one I called OLAYOMI KOIKI, and see short, small club playing basketball in Turkey. Idiot all over the place. Joko Silva and fixed in Nigeria. But Bell fixed Nigeria. Wolumara fixed in Nigeria. Idiot all over the place. We're almost coming to the end of the program. I have 2 minutes to go. Any new country will want to take its proud place in the sporting world. But the path isn't always easy. Kosovo declared independent to this in 2008, but was not admitted to FIFA to participate in international football until 2016. Even then, as Serbia still claims the territory, 23 countries voted against admitting the Balkan state. Their first international tournament was attempted to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. To appear at the Olympics, you will have to form your own National Olympic Committee, Yoruba National Olympic Committee, Yoruba Nation Football, Yoruba Nation this, Yoruba Nation that. Is that not more than enough to encourage you that this is the future or there? You sit down there, your future is blinking on your eyes, and you're still saying, oh, we will go and fix Nigeria. I will join them so that we can fix it. No, you want to join them because you want to steal from them so that we can also call you Babalowo, like most of you love Osh Poppy, a criminal that was living in Dubai on people's sweat until he was captured and sent to prison. He will come out now, he will be your governor. Idiot all over the place. And this is how far we can go this morning. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've done, you can also support in your own little way. And if you don't, just pray so that we continue to have the strength to push the movement. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. Thank you so much to my sweet mother, to my wives, to my children, and to all the sons and daughters of Yoruba around the world. We might not agree on the same thing, but on the Yoruba nation, you will have no other choice. Sorry I didn't read some of your comment on this part before I go. Come on, Alan Conde, the flag is okay because that is who we are. We don't even have to argue with them. You know, let's just leave that. Alan Conde, my brother. We are not going to arrest their dead body. I think they are children. You know, I said that we're going to arrest their dead body. Instagram is shutting down here. I might not come back. Bye for now, those of you on Instagram. So, you know, Dizzy man, thank you so much for enjoying the program. I hope I didn't keep a lot of you late. You know, try and catch some sleep, and I will do the same thing. For now, Muki Yoruba, Muki Biafra, Muki Hausa, Baba Mikule Shita, Just Reason, thank you so much. And we say good morning from here. Thank you all. Prince Adebayo Shitu. Abati is a political dog. You're right. Switching and swinging lanes. Those Nigerian media are part of criminal that we are facing in that country. And you're quite right. And on that note, appreciation to every single one of you. Kamel Abbas, English in Yoruba land with Arabic language is a fraud and a scam. One Nigeria, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, illiterate political use slavery English language with slavery Arabic language. Thief Nigerian money finish, and they will still use slavery English, turn the country upside down. Till today, English slavery language with slavery Arabic language in Yoruba land is not our language in Yoruba land, because Nigeria is a fraud and a scam country. Nigeria is not one country in abroad. Any country that doesn't speak another country language, each country language, their language with their culture, that is why everybody live freedom life in abroad till today because they are not looking for language problem. Is not belong to them. In Yoruba land, we are not English country. We original Yoruba tradition religion. Country slavery life in Yoruba land. We are tired of it. Yoruba language is our freedom language. English language with the slavery Arabic language. Don't give us any freedom in Yoruba land. Slavery, corruption exists in Yoruba land. Nigeria's slave freedom is very important. Wow, Mr. Camille, thank you so much for this. Yami Faith David, Laila, nobody can fix Nigeria. If I didn't capture your comment, don't be angry with me. It's just that probably, maybe, just maybe, I missed it along the line. But you all know that we appreciate you. We love you all. I know some of you are there. Bear with me. I can't see anybody comment there. Probably they're sleeping. Thank you so much. I gotta go now. I will be your last man standing. Debating soon, I will be awake. Soon, and you are awake. Some of us must be awake. And that is why we are doing this again tonight. But when it's your night staff, if you not it's your night, it may buy you 3 hours, 30 pounds. So anybody can send that to my account, at least to cover the cost. Thank you so much. Good morning. To those of you on Twitter, I know there's a lot of you there. I couldn't read your comment. Bear with me, but I do appreciate you. 48 people were live with us right all the way through. And I can know that there's a lot of you that comment, but sometimes it is very hard to read the comment on that. And on that note, Yoruba nation has come to stay. No going back. Theophilus, thank you so much. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you so much to my sweet mother.